So loud. Hey guys, and welcome back. We are in day 3 of the broadcast for the PAC Overwatch Community Rivals. This is the first edition of the Rivals tournament, and right now we are going to have Jacobert versus Cock0, which is actually a sister team of Connect Gaming. And also joining me casting today would be Ayako. Ayako, say hi.
Hello.
And as well as Arexis.
Hello.
Our fabled play-by-play caster. So guys, we have an exciting match here. We have Jacobert, which I think is the favorites to win, but you know, Arexis, Ayako, you can beg to differ. And also we have Cock0. Okay, let's just call them Cock0. They are actually the academy team to Connect Gaming. And also what stands at stake today is 100 USD to actually whoever that wins the tournament to their charity of choice, as well as a holographic card set for the winners. And the MVP of the game would or in the finals would actually get a special MVP card. And with that, it's all customized design. So to me, I really feel that, you know, the customized holographic cards is such a killer, good looking cards as what RX showed me today. And let's talk more about Jacobert. So guys, we have a big match today. Jacobert versus Cock0. So who do you think is your favorite to win this upcoming match? Alexis, let's go with you first. Go ahead.
Well, definitely Jacobert coming into today. They have been undefeated so far in this tournament. And on the other side of the bracket, some might say Connect Gaming are the favorites, but Jacobert actually won Connect Gaming 2-0 in our group stages. So in my opinion, Jacobert is actually the favorite here. And they have a lot of experience keeping a very similar roster from the roster that got them the second runner-ups in AKG's Ace tournament. Their team has a lot of synergy, probably one of the best synergies in the tournament. And I think they're the heavy favorites, especially in this matchup.
Right. So your favorite to win would be Jacobert. How about you, Ayako? Do you have anything to add on, or are you just gonna hop on, sing praises of Jacobert? Oh, they're the best Thai team. No one comes close to them, not even the Singaporeans or the Japanese guys, or maybe, your team?
Yeah, okay. So since Arexis already said Jacobert, just to make things more interesting, I would say Cock0. Because from the past few matches they have played, they have actually been playing a lot of the ball Ash Tracer, which is actually a really good counter against what Jacobert usually runs, which is like rush or dive. So I think it really comes down to their individual performances today. So if I were to go by the books, like meta play and whatnot, I think that Cock0 has a really good chance of winning Jacobert today. But it'll be close. But yeah, I think Cock0 might take the win today.
All right, so you see we have a 1-1 here, and but we'll see later who actually wins this tournament, as the first map is going to be Lijiang, and I guess Lijiang is a bit more of a favorite in this tournament thus far. That's because, Lijiang, there's a lot of places that you can get environmentals and it's an immediate kill. But let's look at the matches today. We will have the best of 5. So basically, it's a first to 3 wins. So the first map would be Lijiang, and second map, Control, the loser's choice, and then we'll go forth from then on. So let's talk about Cock0. Actually, you know what? I've been watching their games, and I've seen Jean. He has been doing such an amazing job as the Tracer. And also we have, I would like to point out Navis here. Navis, sorry, he's a really good main support. We also have Leono. He's a really good main tank. His Winston was really good. And we have all these star players here from Cock Zero. And on the flip side, Jacobert, we have the staples. We have Jacob providing the DPS here. We have Ace with the DPS power. I've seen Jacob playing a lot of Tracer and Ace on the Ashe meanwhile. And also, we also have the likes of Pali as well as TXQ4 on the support. So let's pull back a little here and talk about the DPS. So the DPS lineup for both the teams, like we've seen a lot of Tracers being played. So we have on the side of Cock Zero, as I mentioned just now, we have Jin. He likes to play the Tracer. And on the side of Jacobert, what I've seen is Jacob himself, he likes to play Tracer. So you guys, on both these teams, who do you think is the better Tracer? Who is on par with Sablio B?
Arxis, you want to go first?
Yes, RXs, I know you're burning like, you know, this guy's shit. This guy's shit. He shouldn't be in this.
I only talk up players, man. Never talk down. Not about that ego,
Okay.
Jaco is a really flexible. He primarily plays projectile DPS characters, but his playstyle is really aggressive, really front forward, and his Tracer is no joke either. And aside from the Tracer, he has many picks, especially his Genji. We've seen in the Overwatch Ace what his Genji can accomplish, and
Yeah.
Jaco is the namesake for this team for a reason, and he is probably the star player for this lineup.
Definitely. So, but on this, let's talk about Cock Zero. Do you not see anything like any flashes of brilliance in your opinion played by Jin or Mihawk?
I think Jin, well, he did play the Tracer in the previous matches. I think Connect Gaming Zero, aside from Jin, still has another Tracer up their sleeves, and that's actually Daisy. He actually played a few maps last week, and his Tracer was really lethal. Just going to the back line, no one was able to contest him, and he was just free real estate from there. And he's a player that hit really high rank, 4500 actually on NA servers, which is, considering he's playing from Japan on high ping, it's a really incredible feat that not many has been able to do. So eyes on the DPS lineup for both teams.
That is right. So Ayako, meanwhile, in your opinion, who is the more mechanically gifted Tracer out of both these teams? It's like
for me.
Yep. Go ahead, man.
I might be a bit biased here. 100% Daisy.
Daisy
to me, out of these three players, is the best Tracer. I mean, when it comes down to team play style wise, it might not be him. It might be Jaco, which is like I said, Jaco is a really team synergized team. So like when it comes down to team play, maybe Jaco is a better Tracer, but when it comes down to mechanical, 100% I think Daisy is on top. Because
all right. Yep, definitely. I hear you loud and clear, Ayako. But meanwhile, not forgetting chat. Hi, chat. Meanwhile, Mr. Mangho says close your eyes because Ayako is just damn too sexy. Woo! You have quite a fans there. So anyway, guys, we are now moving ahead to Lijiang Tower, where we're gonna have our first match, which is the control map. So we'll see who can duke it out better between both these teams. Is it Cock Zero or Jacobert? So take it away, RXs as well as Ayako. Go ahead.
Thank you, Teddy, for the wonderful introduction to both teams, as we should be getting into the first map, Lijiang Tower. Now, what compositions are you expecting on this map, Ayako?
Since Lijiang Tower is made of really different maps. We have Control Center, which is a really enclosed kind of map, and then you have also maps like Garden, which is really open, really exposed with a high skybox. So I think that it'll be a really mix of rush and dive, which is really common team comms that teams usually run. So we probably see a Reinhardt, Mei coming out on Control Center, maybe a Symmetra Junk as well. You might see Pharahs, Winstons, and Balls coming out of Gardens. And even Night Market, sometimes you might do the cheesy Symmetra TP. Who knows? It's really up to what these two teams have in store to surprise the other team. So yeah, I think it'll be a really exciting first map coming into this series.
Well, definitely, I think it'll be down to the first stage that the teams will be playing off. And these two teams are they play two very different playstyles, very contrasting playstyles. Jacobert like to run the heavy rush composition, well, from what we've seen of Connect Gaming Zero, they like to play the ball and the Xayah, the ball Xayah that is seen in the Chinese region, in the Korean region. Well, it's actually getting phased out being in Korea, but just heavy dive from the Connect Gaming Zero side. And at the end of the day, which composition do you think would come out on top, practically speaking?
I think it really comes down to the third map, to be honest, because like one map, Control Center probably like benefits Jacobert, but the other one, like Garda, probably might benefit Cog Zero. We don't know, so we have to see like what each team's like. Are they able to adapt coming into like this best of 3?
So the first stage of our semifinals will be happening on Lijiang Night Market. Both teams locked in, ready for action. Jacobert versus COG Zero. A very stacked roster from both sides. Interesting to note that Daisy is out of the lineup for the first map at least. It will be Mihawk and Jin coming in. So what do you think this DPS lineup would mean for COG Zero without Daisy?
I think that we're probably looking towards playing a kind of a slower kind of dive, because looking from the team composition right now, you have the Break Ana on actually Cog Zero and you have the Lucio Baptiste on Jacobert. So I think Cog Zero will be trying to like pool resources, try to play a slow game for the Nano coming out compared to Jacobert.
Yeah, the round has already started. As we said, the rush from Jacobert looking for TP right onto the point, lobbing the grenades from Jaco, just providing the heavy spam to ward off the dive from COG Zero. Turrets already set up. The formation for the bunker has been set up for Jacobert. COG Zero now looking to poke around, find any cracks in this heavy formation. Mihawk on the echo in the skies as Jin on the left side already looking for a flank.
Yeah, definitely you see Jacobert holding down the bunker over here with Junkrat spamming, trying to deny as much space as they can from Cog Zero, and Enzo gets one pick on no ZL with a Fire Strike.
Yeah, and Ace finishes up the rest of the kills with the Symmetra, and as quick as the fight started, COG didn't really find any opportunity to go in, and they're just back into the respawn screen.
Now Cog Zero really has to figure out how they're gonna penetrate this really tough bunker. They probably have to swap out certain heroes to try and adapt, because a Brick was probably not gonna do anything against Jacobert. So you see now they've actually swapped to a Pharah. We don't know whether we'll see a Mercy coming out of Remu, but we're hoping to see like Cog Zero actually taking out the spam, which is like probably a counter to Jacobert and their best choice right now.
Yeah, and Enzo already eager to go in just on the front line, just hammering it down on the Rhine. TP back to the point, but Enzo is left alone. They need to catch him out right now. Oh, he managed to get back on his point actually. Jin on the Pharah. Nice swap to adapt to the composition that Jacobert is out and bringing. Looking to poke down, but Jaco on the Junkrat trying to find any picks he can, but the amplification matrix is soon to be used by Pali. Let's see where he uses it and how.
Good
anti coming up from the side of Nivis, catches 2, and with the charge onto NTRP, the fight is going back and forth right now. Jaco finishes up Q, but both supports are down actually from the side of Jaco, but they don't have any sustain left on the point, and Leon of the Rings is just battering everyone right now with Primal Rage. And seems like COG Zero at the end of the day will be winning this fight and regaining control. Oh, but actually there are still multiple members of Jacobert left on the point, and the fight isn't over yet.
Yeah, I can see Jacobert now struggling to keep themselves alive, because like with Leon here and the Pharah coming back quickly, they really have to stay alive to wait for the team to come back. I see trades going out here, Nozia taking out Ainzo and Bali actually taking out their main tank. We'll probably see a barrage coming down here with a copy from Mihawk who's in the background. But Jaco takes out Mihawk with a tire, and Mihawk actually makes the trade with Jaco.
Yeah, both DPSs from the side of COG Zero didn't even have time to utilize their ultimates, and before they knew it, Jacobert will be taking Night Market 100-0.
I think Cog Zero probably had to like make things quick and decide on like what they want to do, because against a bunker, if you were to drag out the time, the bunker would probably just out-heal whatever team comes you're gonna run. However, you're seeing coming into Control Center right now, with Jacobert actually nailing the 100-0 with the rush comp. Let's see what Cog Zero actually has in store for them going up in Control Center.
Yeah, and this map is really rush favored, and we talk about rush, Jacobert will probably be really favored here as both teams. Enzo hovering over the wrecking ball. I don't know whether he'll be sticking to that, probably swapping the Reinhardt, and yeah, he does. So this will be a full-on Brawn Mirror. Both teams have the exact same composition.
Now it really comes down to whichever tank like and Junkrat is able to pressure out the lamp from the other opponent team.
And seems like Jacobert is already there faster, but a good concussion mine from Jin will somehow catches up too. And with another one, Ace can return the favor on Jin, but the damage has already been done. Pali catches out Remu, but it's still a numbers advantage here for COG0. And the tank line just stable on the point right now. Angel can't really do much as he's getting poked down by the photon beam from the Symmetra. It's just two people on the point, and seems like COG0 will be getting the early cap. Sol comes out from TXQ4, but nothing he can really do much just on the Lucio. It seems like the first control will be going to COG0.
You see the window is actually popped up from Navius here. You see the Symmetra is actually really charged out on Cog0 side. Now all they have to do is actually to hunker and bunker down and make sure they don't get picked off from here. But Aizo lands a fat Fire Strike against Cog0, but in the end gets returned Fire Strike and shattered.
Huge shatter right there from Ainzo, but it doesn't really open up the fight for his team because the rest of COG0 just collapses all around him, and Mihawk gets a few kills onto Symmetra to continue the momentum that they have. And Jacobert right now still needs to look for a way to poke through this, to run through this raw comp from COG0.
The next fight is going to be really interesting because Jaco actually has that tire coming up with Mihawk with the wall. You probably see a trade of ultimates coming into this fight.
Speed boost already goes in. COG0 looking for the engage, but Jaco with the rip tire trying to ward them off, and he just catch Leonopteris and both tanks right now for COG0 already down. With the shield, no more from the side of Mihawk Symmetra. Ace right now just trying to clean up everybody, and for the first time, Jacobert will be taking control of the point, 9% to 47.
Well, Cog0 going to the next fight here probably has a slight advantage with both support ultimates online with the flat rip tire actually coming up. So we'll probably see a wall coming up from Ace for the continuous fight. So it actually all comes down to how Jin actually manages to pick off anyone from Jacobert coming into the fight.
Yeah, eyes on Jin here. He has the key ultimate to carry his team through this fight, and the rip tire has already been popped, trying to find an angle. But Jaco, quick to react, pops down, destroys Jin's rip tire, and the Symmetra shield is out from the side of Ace. Jacobert still has the supercharger, still have both tanks if they even need it, but with the kill onto Nozzle from Jaco, I don't even think they need any more ultimates here. But if they do, Angel does have the Earth Shatter. He decides to pop it, catches nothing much, and COG0 using the Sound Barrier trying to rush back in. But Angel catches a Q on Leonoprix, and that's the momentum gone for COG0.
I think COG here really had a bad management of the ultimates going to this fight. They actually used a beat when they're actually really down a lot of members. But going to the next fight, you see Jacobert with the flat tire coming up, and you know Cog0 pretty much has an advantage actually going to this fight with the Shatter and Bongo coming up, and with Mihawk close to the wall. So it all comes down to how Jaco really wants to turn the tide of this fight. You know, he has that key ultimate that can probably win them the game since it's coming out to actually 80%.
Jaco trying to look for a sneaky angle here on the high ground, pops the rip tire, just drops in and destroys both Nozzle and his ultimate. Leonoptrix trying to do whatever he can right now, down his off tank with the side of Nozzle. Jin tries to return the favor, catches the kill onto NTRP. Still a 4v4 right now on the point, looking for any team to be punished as Ainzo on the front line trying to do whatever he can to stabilize for his team. Pali almost has his amplification matrix, pops it, and the turret will kill off Remu. TXQ4 is rushing on the Lucio right now. The barrier from Leonopterix is so low and he does fall, which at the end of the day Jacobert will be the ones coming up on top of this fight.
Cog0 now with 3 members left, 2 members left. I think this is a 100% win for Jacobert for the map of Lijiang Tower.
Connect Gaming 0 actually making it more close than Night Market on Control Center, but at the end of the day, Jacob's Bird's Rush still proved to be more stronger on the mirror, and COG's dive on the Night Market didn't even work against the Brawl. So what do you think COG0 needs to adapt here to change up to win against Jacobert?
I think definitely COG has to stabilize a lot during fights, because as you can see from the side of Jacobert, even though they look really chaotic, but you can see they're all taking slow turns to stabilize to get themselves into conditions where they're able to recontest. However, Cog0 is kind of just going in again and again, even though when they're at a disadvantage, they just keeps wanting to go for the trade, which in turn, Jacobert becomes in favor because Jacobert makes it really hard for them to do stuff like that. So I think Cog0 really has to, watch how they play, probably change up their playstyle going into the next few maps.
Yeah, seems like Jayco on the Junkrat proved to be a bit too strong there for COG0 to handle. DPSs from the side of COG0 probably needs to step up their own game to mirror the side of Jacobert.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
after seeing the side of COG0 on the first map, do you think going to the second map, should they have any substitution? Should they sub in Daisy, or should they keep it as it is and continue trying to play the slow dive composition with the Winston that they're trying to pull off?
I think if going into the next few maps, if they're probably gonna play, the slow comms that we're talking about, the Ash, Ball, and Tracer, I think subbing Daisy, I mean, subbing Daisy might be a good thing because Daisy is more of like a Tracer specialist. So you never know, Cock Zero probably has some plans up their sleeves for the remaining few maps. But yeah, they probably have to really watch out for Jacobert's dive and rush comps.
Yeah, it seems like the map pool, second map has been decided. This is the choice of COG0, and COG0 will be taking us to Icon World. Any compositions you expect to be prominent here on this map, Ayako?
Well, this map is actually a really mix between team compositions. You can have teams running really flexible dive comps, and you can also have teams running hard rush with the Mei and McCree. But depending on how each teams play off, usually the second point would be the deciding factor into which team would pull off whatever team comps they want to play the best. So we might see a rush coming out from Jacobert. We might see actually maybe a Farah comp. Who knows, coming out from Cog Zero. But I think in the end, it's probably still a rush comp coming out from these both teams.
Yeah, and we ever do see a Farah, I know for sure that Jayco himself has a really, really lethal Farah up his pockets and rest of his projectile hero pool to boot. So yeah. So since Ace Jacobert has actually gotten a new off-tank replacement for Calbun, I think he took a break for study. So how do you think NTRP on the off-tank has actually been doing, and is he able to fill in the shoes of Calbun well?
I think NTRP is a really good off tank that complements Ainzo a lot because Jacobert is a team that actually benefits from teamwork. So I think NTRP is doing a really good work, keeping the team together as an off tank.
Yeah, we should be getting into the sunny map of Icon World soon enough. Here will be Jacobert on the defense, COG0 on the attack. Let's see what compositions both teams run out with soon, and to be no substitutions yet for COG0, still keeping Daisy on the ready if he ever needs to come out, but it'll still be Mihawk and Jin, and if Mihawk is in, that probably means they'll be running the Echo so far, and
You
seems
can
like
see coming
Jacobert.
out Cog Zero actually looking towards a Winston Zarya. So you probably might see a slow dive with the Echo coming up from Cog Zero. And Jacobert actually picking the Pharah into this team comp. So this game might be interesting because you never know how these two teams will fire off when they're playing similar team comps, with a Winston Zarya dive, since Jacobert is no longer on the rush. So it really bows down to the DPSs right now, to be very honest, especially Jaco and Mihawk probably taking the duels in the air.
Yeah, and it seems like your prediction was correct. Jayco indeed coming out of Farah, but there's a quick shot on to Mihawk. Ace just downs the side of COG0's DPS. Force out the rest from Rimu, and Mihawk will be back in the action, but Ainzo is already trying to look to engage on COG0. Ace covering the sidelines on the right here on the Widowmaker, just scoped in. Jin tries to contest him, doesn't really get a kill. Ace is solo right now, but gets healed up thankfully by Pali as a dive comes out from side of Leonotorix. Ainzo already falls to Mihawk, however.
Cog Zero really needs to break this tower barrier set up by Jacobert, but his Pharah seems to be cutting off all pushes coming up from the tanks. But Mihawk takes a pick out of TXQ4 actually, and Mihawk actually takes 2 kills, taking out the Air Force from Jacobert, and seems that Cog Zero took an easy first fight and capturing the point A.
Yeah, Mihawk just cleared out the whole airspace single-handedly on the Echo. Now Jayco looking at, probably realizes that he can't really do as much as he can on the Pharah, just swaps over to the Tracer.
Now the deciding factor for this map is whoever can control that bridge that you see over there. Whoever can control the airspace would probably decide how the teams are going to push it. So you see Mihawk on the Echo probably is going to try to take control of this high ground. So it all comes down to Ace, the Widowmaker, on how he wants to shut down the opponent team.
Yeah, and Ainzo is already anti, looking to get out as fast as possible, but not so before he can do that, punishes him. And The 2 down already from the side of Jacob, but Ace trying to clutch out for his team, does get Jin, but he can't really get another shot because all of them are just hiding on the cover on the castle.
You see that Cog0 has already taken up the high ground over from Jacobert, but Ace with the pick on Rimu probably decides that, you know, they're probably going to lose the high ground over here since they are down one support. With Mihawk coming with a copy soon enough, let's see what he does with it.
And the nano boost also comes down onto the side of Angel's Winston, but he can't really do much because the rest of COG0 are positioned in a way that they're so split for him to punish anything. He tries to dive onto Naivis, but the Pew is there coming from Donzo. NTRP 100 energy right now, so high charge, trying to fend off the double tracers from the side of COG0. But Jaco in that midst of the battle catches Naivis with his pulse bomb, and they're now looking to dive onto TXQ4, which they do.
And they're definitely making trades on the backline over here with Cog0 still pushing the point with no contest. Jacobert down the supports. Let's see what they can do with the cleanup. Jacobert tries to take a duel with Jin, but over here you see Cog0's main tank actually slowly pushing the card, denying them any form of contest.
An Ace quick kill onto Naivis, shutting down the push from COG0 as he gets another one which should just prevent COG0 from doing anything, but the payload is still being pushed here and Primal Rage trying to stop any payload push from the side of COG0, just Enzo just cleaning up the fight on the Winston.
Things are actually not looking too good for Cog0 as they actually lost the potential high ground coming in, and you can see TXQ4 actually has that rally coming up with the side of Jacobert, but Cog0 probably has to like nail probably a team wipe over from Jacobert with that singular grab that he has. You see a Tracer Pulse coming out from Jin as well, so it really comes down to how they're gonna take this fight over from Jacobert.
Yeah, all eyes on Nozzle. He has the only ultimate on the side of COG0, but Jin is building up to a Pulse Bomb. Let's see if they can execute a nice grab Pulse Bomb combo as they trying to take control of the bridge. Enzo jumps up immediately, tries to contest the push, and Ace once again gets another pick. Already, he has been doing so well, just catching pick before COG0 can even push in. But the rally comes out from TXQ4. Nozzle throws in the grab, trying to clutch out, turn the fight around for his team. Jaco unleashes the Pulse Bomb, which actually checks out the main support from the side of COG0. Mihawk catches another buy. Don't think he can turn this around for COG0 unless he gets a huge high noon here, which he doesn't because Ace is there to shut him down on the Widowmaker.
Ace is just popping off on the Widowmaker right now as he takes up 2 to 3 members on the side of Cog0. And now Jacobert looking really well, considering that they actually denied a game-changing combo coming from the side of Cog0. Cog0 probably has to look for ways to shut down Ace because they're not going to push up the fight if Ace is continuing to, you know, do picks all the way in the backline.
Infra side bring pop here from Ace, but already ending, which means COG0 has the ability to push in now without getting the sidelines covered by Ace.
Probably gonna see a Nano Winston coming out from Pali and Ainzo over here with nothing on Cog0. Ainzo takes out actually Navis from the Nano coming out from Pali.
Yeah, and Enzo actually catches another, just catches both sides of the backline for COG0, and once again, before COG0 can really push in, Jacobert already stops the fight with just 2 ultimates.
Yeah, Cog0 things not looking good here, but however we have Rimu coming out with the rally. You know, with Jacobert's grab coming out online, it really comes down to how they want to take the fight. Navis actually takes out Jaco and Ainzo with the trade onto Jin.
Yeah, both Tracers were trying to duo each other, but Navis with a nice place Ana shot right there just catches out Jaco, but Jin also falls, which means COG0 are left to stabilize a bit at a choke and needs to wait for Jin to come back.
Yeah, COG probably has to find out how Jin's gonna use the Pulse Bomb over here. NTRP lands a fat grab over onto the choke. It takes out the entire team.
There's a nice Graviton Surge coupled with the anti-nade from Pali, once again cleaning the fight up before COG0 can even engage with the dive.
Things are not looking good here for Cog0. They do not have any much ultimates going into the next fight other than the support ultimates. You know, you don't have a grab coming from Noziel, which means Jin probably has to take out a singular target from Jacobert in order to be effective. And you also have Pali coming out with the Nano. So it all comes down to Remo. How is he going to actually utilize his rally?
Yeah, and Jin has been holding his ultimate for quite some time. He needs to pop it now because if he doesn't, Enzo is just unleashing terror on the back line with his Primal Rage and already catches out Jin and Remo before he can even use his Pulse Bomb. He actually uses the Pulse Bomb but doesn't really catch anything. And 10 seconds on the board right now, and COG are all stuck in spawn. They need to respawn fast, and I don't even know if anyone can touch from the side of COG0.
I think Cog Zero probably have the Winston to touch the point over here, but none of the teams are gonna go push in. Remu actually dies in the rally, even though Navis has nanoed someone on the side of Cog Zero. But I think this is a pretty much clear win and full good defense coming from Jacobert.
Yeah, clean plays all around, able to defend the bridge as you were saying, just denying COG0 of any opportunity to catch anyone with the dive, and showing us that Jacobert can not only play the rush but also has an effective Winston double bubble composition to boot.
Yeah, if Jacobert actually runs a similar comp coming on offense, Cog Zero really has to step up the game, figure out how they're gonna actually deny Ace. Because Ace's Widow is actually doing so much on the side of Jacobert. He's denying so much engages coming from Jin, as you pretty much not see him during the entire attack phase. So it really comes down to how Cog Zero wants to adapt in terms of the tank line. How are they gonna start focusing certain targets in order to benefit them more?
Well, some people say that the best counter to a Widowmaker is your own Widowmaker, and Mihawk is a well-known his main is actually Widowmaker, and that's his most played hero right now, and he's trying to look to counter Ace at his own game, so seems like there'll be a Widow duo at the start of first point, Mihawk versus Ace, with Jayco hovering over the Pharah, but we don't know whether he'll actually pick that, but seems like COG0, nothing new changes except for the side of Mihawk's character
Jin-
switch.
Jin definitely has to lock guys onto that Mercy coming out from Jacobert, because if they lose the tower fight and if Jacobert actually continues to snowball all the way towards bridge, I think this is looking bad for Cog Zero if they don't step up their game.
And it seems on the attack, Jayco would indeed be playing that Pharah. Maybe he'll switch after seeing the side of Mihawk's Widowmaker. But right now, both Widowmakers playing their own sidelines, trying to see if they can accomplish anything with their scope shots. Playing a steel lane right.
See Jayco actually taking the statue over here, the tower, and he's actually moving it onto point. They're letting Jayco walk in for free, but Mihawk takes out Jayco right off the bat.
Nice shot from Mihawk and just catches another from the side of TXQ4, and that another nice shot winning the Widowmaker duo shows that he can be the counter to Ace, one of the most dominant Widows right now in the game, and catches another one onto NTRP, solo handling, killing off the Pharah Mercy from the side of Jacobert.
If Jacobert continues to let Mihawk do whatever he wants, Jayco's Pharah probably would not actually get a lot of playtime coming into this fight. Pali has that nano coming up, so we probably see a nano Winston coming up from Jacobert.
All eyes, the nano comes in, the bubble actually comes in on Ainso along with the nano, but good play, sleep right there for Navis, just shuts him down. Can't really do anything. Mihawk pops his infra side, he knows where everyone is, but he already gets fallen by the hands of Ainso. And the tanks, and Leonoptrix is solo right now on the front line of COG0. Not even a bubble from Nozzle can probably save him. They need to finish him right now, and with the pick onto Jin by the side of Ace, I think this is the chance for Jacobert to just push in with the Pharah.
Yeah, as you see, Jayco over here free-shotting the backline with NTRP on the point already. That damage boost doing wonders. And they takes out Nevis, the tank line falls in the Cog Zero. And you see they take point A cleanly.
Yeah, Jayco just had all the space in the world right there without the tanks from COG0 just catching 3 on the cleanup. And right now they have almost 5 minutes just to cap out around the bend. And I think it'll be really hard for COG0 to defend with such a huge time bank.
Yes, definitely. Navis and Leo has to really make wonders with that Nano Winston coming out, because Pali probably would not get enough heals coming from TXQ. So now they really have to work out their ult economy coming into the bridge defense. With Jayco taking out Jin.
And Jayco can just turn this fight around with his barrage, but his barrage gets just eaten up by Leonoptrix's own Winston bubble. And this is time for COG0 to make a stand, and Remu catches out TXQ for Ace wins the Widow duo, but he catches another actually. Still right now back and forth, 3 members left on the point from the side of Jayco, but COG0 needs to defend right now, and that they do. So they'll have another chance, and the match will not be over just yet.
Yes, Jacob actually messed up that barrage right there, dying to his own hands. But you see now that NTRP actually has a grab with that Nano Winston potentially coming in. But Mihawk takes out Ace. That stops their push.
That's rough from the side of Jayco, but the rest from TXQ floor is there to get Ace back up in the fight. And the Nano Boost comes down, Ainzo solo grab onto Nozzle, but he gets protected by Remu's rally. Right now, still a 4v5 on the point as Ainzo unleashes his Primal Rage, actually knocks Divis right into the bank of Icon Ward.
See Enzo working wonders here on that Winston, actually taking out Jin in the process with only such little HP. And now they pretty much have a slow free push because people on Cogs are actually down. Jaco takes out Mihawk all the way in the back line, and now they're down to 3 meters coming into the final point.
Yeah, and COG0 doesn't have the full team they want on the point, and with Leonard Lurix falling, I think this is already over, and a quick map 2 will lead Jacobert to reach match point in our first semi-final match.
You can see the different playstyles coming out from Jaco, but actually adapting to what they saw from Cog Zero. I think really this is actually like a DPS, a DPS matchup that is really worth this tournament. You can see Ace and Mihawk actually taking each other out, with Jin posing a threat on the Tracer, stepping up the game actually on the defense.
Yeah, Mihawk was able to get a few shutdowns onto Ace on their defense, but at the end of the day, regardless of the Widow duo, Jacobert was still the team that was able to come out on top.
Definitely, you can see the differences between Ainzo and actually Leo posing different threats to each other's teams. You see Leo actually getting shut down by Pali quite a number of times, even with the Nano. And you can see Ainzo dominating with that, Winston ultimate primal of his. So it comes down to these big maps like that. It really depends on how each of the tanks would actually adapt to the opponent's playstyles.
Yeah, it seems like on COG0's attack, every time they tried to push in that archway on the choke, Enzo and the engage was already so fast for Jacobert, just choking them all out before they can even push in.
Yes, definitely. Like I also mentioned just now that Jaco has this kind of playstyle whereby they like to stabilize, even though when they're down a few, to kind of process what's going on during the team fight, and you can see that actually benefiting them a lot, especially when they're on an attack, because you can see that Jaco actually managed to take a few of members of Cog Zero out when they are still in the middle of a team fight. Even though when they're down a few members. So that's one thing that Cog Zero really has to step up going into the last game, which might potentially be a match point for Jacobert.
Yeah, and it's been two quick first two maps, and COG0 right now are just looking down the barrel of defeat, and they need to really change up something here. Nothing's been really working for them. Jacobert has basically just been steamrolling through everything they've been trying to pull out, and they really need to make this last map work. If not, they are just going to be out of this tournament already.
Yeah, definitely. Cog Zero really has to step up their game and their coordination, because you can see from Jacobert, even though they are chaotic, they know what they're doing. They know how to shut down people, and they know how to give you a really hard time going to whatever objectives you want to push. So it really comes down to this last map on how Cog Zero wants to deal Jacobert over here.
Yeah, Jacobert, a team that's always been known to thrive in the chaos. Just everything looks so easy for them right now. And let's see where COG0, the loser of the previous map, will take us to on what might just be the final map of the series.
Yeah, definitely. Jacobert being a really rush and dive orientated team, going to the next map, you actually have Watch Point Gibraltar, which is actually a sniper map, which what most people would say. So the Ace and the Mihawk matchup might come again on that Widow.
Yeah, it seems like COG0 doesn't want to mirror Jacobert on their brawl, so they take us to a map where dive is really favored, especially Mihawk wants to play his comfort pick, the sniper, the Widowmaker. Just wants to challenge Ace and show that he's no slouch on the Widowmaker himself.
As I wonder if they'll get any subs over from Cog Zero, maybe see a Daisy come out on the Tracer, because usually you have teams running a sniper and a Tracer, to pose a threat over to their backline. So you never know what they call it, Jacobert would do. Maybe they might pop a Pharah, they might pop a Sombra, even a Genji coming out from Jacobert. So we actually have Daisy subbing in Jin, Daisy the Tracer. So yeah, like what I said, they probably might run a sniper Tracer comp coming to next map. Jacobert might even pop out the Genji, because he is known for that lethal Genji on his team.
Yeah, it seems like COG0 has finally unleashed their hidden weapon, their Tracer specialist, and just maybe saving the best for last. But I don't know whether just Daisy alone can be enough to turn this series around into a reverse sweep.
Yes, definitely. You can see the stability of the backlines actually that differs from Cog Zero and Jacobert. You see Navis, being slightly struggling against Ainzo, and Jacobert like playing the Mercy most of the times probably wouldn't be contested as much. So we'll probably see what team comps they're gonna play in Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Yeah, and Jacobert this time chooses to attack first.
Wanted
And let's see
to
what
pick out the Genji.
compositions both teams will be running.
Well, as predicted, you have Mihawk on the Widow and Daisy playing his signature Tracer on this map. With Winston, Zarya, and a Break Ana coming out from Cog Zero. We don't know what Jacobert might run because they're still on attack, but you still do see that Winston Zarya pick and the Break coming out. So this map will probably be a Winston Zarya matchup.
Yeah, let's see if any one of these tanks can establish the so-called MTD, but it seems like Enzo maybe not really wanting to go for the Winston, but they're still on the attacker, so they might just be debating us here.
Yes, you see Ace on the Torbjorn. Might pose a threat, but you'll never know.
He probably won't go to that, but seems like Enzo does choose to play the ball.
They're actually
different
playing
look.
the Torb.
A different look, and somehow Daisy already gets caught out by the turret. And now the Brick Zen right now here for the Jacobert, looking to capitalize on the Discord ops, a much more faster and lethal com from the double bubble. And Leonopterix, unsuspecting, already falls from the side of Pali's ops.
I'm actually really surprised by this team comp pick coming out from Jacobert, but it looks to me like they're trying to deny all forms of engage by their Winston on Cog Zero.
Yeah, Rimu is just here. Rimu is just all caught around here, and the tanks from Jacobert already collapses onto him. Nivis tries to save him, but it's already too late because he falls, and the momentum is already there for Jacobert, and they cap the first point without even needing to move a flinch.
Definitely, they really need to step out on that game right now. They really need to stabilize because I think the team comp coming from Jacobert probably took them by surprise as well. But this team comp is actually really beatable with what Cog Zero is actually running.
Yeah, but they need to prevent Jacobert from engaging onto them because Jacobert are just going so fast and furious, and with the Torbjorn turret to deny any angles from Daisy, Mihawk actually swaps over to the Hanzo, doesn't want to play the Widowmaker anymore, doesn't want to be as vulnerable.
As you have Jaco coming with the tire up soon, he's probably gonna go for the back line over here. With Navis Nano coming up, you see Jaco pulling the rip tire, and he goes for actually remove the back line. It takes out the entire back line with Aizo taking out Daisy, and they get a cap on second point.
This might just be a record-breaking time here for the side of Jacobert, and they have 6 minutes, and at the last point, COG0 needs to stabilize first.
RX's, I don't think we've ever seen a 6-minute cap in any tournament so far. This is probably the first, and Jacobert really surprises me with the team cost. But you see Jaco changing up the Junkrat, so I think he probably wants to cap this really quickly.
I think right now COG0 are just not used to the chaos and the team composition that Jacobert is bringing. A little bit of BM there from Pali actually pops his Transcendence. Maybe they want to swap comps or something. And it seems like for the first time in this whole map, COG0 finally gets some picks and just finally manages to stabilize right on the third point. But they need to defend for 5 minutes.
Yeah, as you see, Pali and TXQ actually no ultimates, but Navis with that Nano Winston coming up. So Cog Zero actually has a really good chance of stabilizing, actually defending this.
And the bomb will be coming out from the side of NTRP and actually catches both Daisy and Rimu. Unfortunate angle there, couldn't really hide at that small crevice. And Navis does get a return kill onto Jaco, and the Nano Winston is there. Even though NTRP catches 2 with the bomb, the tank side from the side of COG0 managed to stabilize and bring it back around.
There's pretty much nothing Jacobert can do against that Nano Winston with that team comp that they're running, other than stunning the Winston. And you see a fat grab coming up from NoZL.
Nozzle with the grab, trying to ward off Jacobert, a bit alone right now as the slam comes in from Enzo. The minefield has been popped, denying the space, but he gets shut down by Nozzles. Zaya and NTRP actually swaps over to Orisa.
However, Cog Zero has no resources going into the next fight other than that McCree and Winston ult. Mihawk takes a pick onto Ace. You can see Jacobert actually running for Hawk Orisa right now.
Jacobert just playing so many unconventional comps on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Ace actually goes back to his Torbjorn. So it'll be a heavy spam comp coming out from the side of Jacobert as the anti-nade onto Enzo. And actually the roles have been swapped. NTRP usually on the off tank is now on the main tank, and Enzo will be on the off tank suddenly. And with a nice hook and a shotgun from the side of Ace. Leonoptrix will fall.
You see Cog0 cleaning up Jacob, but Pali pops the trance, even though his teammates were all down.
What? And the Dragon Strike is also being popped. Jacobert just using so many ultimates they don't even need to use. I think they might just be swapping comps again here. If not, there'll be no reason to use so many ultimates so weirdly.
Once again, I am surprised by Jacobert. You know, I wonder what they're gonna do now going in. They swapped Pali onto the Ana and Jacob back onto the Junkrat. I have no clue what they're doing. But you're gonna see Daisy probably with that Pulse Bomb with no ZL on the graph. And Navis with that Nano once again, probably looking forward to a Nano instant going in. And it does.
Dive alongside Daisy, just looking to wreak havoc on the Jacobert's backline. Mihawk does fall, but the main support is already down from the side of Jacobert. And with Pali falling, that's actually Ace gets a hammer kill onto Nivis. And maybe that's a small victory even though his team has lost the fight.
I think Jacobert is actually just having fun as we speak. You know, but looking at the scoreboard, things are not looking good for them if they actually want to push to the end. You have no ZL and Remo with both ultimates coming up, and Jacobert still has nothing other than the tank ults.
Yeah, their overconfidence might just bite them in their back, but let's see in a few minutes because COG0 still has to defend for 2.5 minutes because you have to remember, Jacobert came into the third point with 6 minutes.
See Leon taking out Einzo here with the anti-nade and the graph coming out from NoZL, taking out 2 or 3 members. And you see Jacobert still with nothing. And Ace once again hammers Navis with the top hammer. I'm speechless. I'm really speechless.
How is Navis just falling to the hammer? But it seems like Jacobert finally going up with their tank ultimates. The bunker hasn't really been working so far against the double bubble, but with the tank outs finally being up for Jacobert, let's see if they can finally push through.
You see probably a bongo coming out from NTRP soon. You see Einzo actually taking out the Winston with a primal, and Daisy lands a pulse onto NTRP.
That's the showstopper right there from Daisy, and seems like with one pulse bomb, the main tank down for Jacobert. Seems like the fight might be over, but Jaco looking to do something risky here, just jumps in, just deep into enemy territory. But Nozzle catches out Ainzo, and even though the fight is back and forth, I think at the end of the day, CUG0 still have the advantage here.
I'm not so sure about that. With Jaco coming out with a Riptire soon, we probably see a change of types. But Nozzle with the Nano instead of the Winston, probably charging up that grab.
And no need to look out for the Riptire if the user itself is already dead, and a nice Nano coming up from Nozzle will shut him down, and Daisy just from the higher ground drops down, and a clean kill onto TXQ4 would mean that COG0 has actually defended for a bit over 5 minutes here, and they're looking to hold Jacobert at the third point.
Looking from the ultimates they have right now, Cog0 probably only needs to land a good graph pulse to decide their win. Since, you know, and TXQ actually pops the rally going in, but we'll probably see a graph coming up soon if they want to win the defense.
Riptire being popped here from Jaco. Let's see if he can get anything. Looking right now for any target and does catch out Nivis. But Pali does fall, and the rest from Nozzle. COG0 might still be able to stabilize him, especially with Daisy in the backline. He might be able to pull out some magic. Ace trying to 1v1 the Mercy across the map, and Remu just trying to back out into cover. Daisy looking for the flank onto Ace, but a nice pew from NTRP, a well-placed right click will shut him down. But it's still back and forth here as both teams is relatively even numbers right now.
I think you see a Nano coming up from Bali soon enough. You have tank ults coming from Einzo, but he dies before he gets his ultimate. Ace with the Bob coming up soon. NoZL still has that graph.
But the Nano comes down to enter NTRP, seeming relatively high charge, but nice grab right in the middle of the point will ensure that Mihawk will get a free shooting range on the rest of Jacobert. And at the end of the day, seems like Jacobert's overconfidence might have just cost them, as COG0 somehow manages to defend for 6 whole minutes on the third point.
6 minutes on the last point of Gibraltar. That's crazy. 6 whole minutes playing against Jacobert with, you know, they're playing, I think they're just playing like random heroes, you know, but, you know, you never know on defense what Jacobert might do. Cog0 might not be able even to push second point, you know, but we'll see what Jacobert has in store for Cog0.
And by Jacob Bird right now, they cannot get too ahead of themselves. We have seen time and time again what if they get too overhead of themselves, if COG0 somehow manages to take Gibraltar, the momentum could completely swing in a different direction and COG0 might just be able to take more maps and maybe even reverse sweep.
Definitely, we probably do not want to see a Jacobert pull a Jaeger from Ace tournament on the very same map, you know. But you see Jacobert running the Torbjorn and Bastion.
I mean, Jacob Bird actually reverse swept you guys.
Yeah, exactly. But will this be the case for Jacobert when they get reverse swept instead? We'll never know. But you see the double sniper coming out from Cog Zero right now. But you see the tanks hovering around Orisa Hawk. They might
But
be looking towards a cheesy hook right from spawn.
But it's interesting that on the side of Jacoba, the main tank and off tank actually swapped roles. So Enzo usually on the main tank is now on the Sigma. I don't know whether that's because NTRP maybe cannot really pull out Sigma himself, or they're just looking to play whatever they want right now. And Ace actually on the Bastion, just a heavy bunker comp. We don't usually see this anymore. And COG0 just unsuspecting right now. But once they see the comp, they do swap over after failing the hook combo to a double bubble.
Definitely, you see Daisy here. Bali damage boosting Ace over on the high ground. The Winston getting demolished the moment he even peeks out his hair, you know. But it all comes down to how Cog Zero's tanks, how they're gonna engage this and make space for the DPSs. See Noziel swapping to the Diva and Leo onto the ball.
Yeah, trying to go for a heavy poke composition to outpoke the bunker, but Jayco already domes Daisy's heads in. A rest comes out, but Jayco right now on the backline just trying to get a hammer kill. But Navis doesn't fall for it again. He manages to retreat into Rimu's sideline to heal him back up. But in the midst of all that, Ace catches a kill onto Mihawk, and they're just holding the spawn right now for COG0.
I think Jacob playing this comp is actually pretty smart, even though it looks really cheesy, because Jacob on the top actually denies all possibilities of a flanker coming out from Daisy, which his Tracer is actually his signature hero. So it might look crazy, but it might be brains coming out from Jacob.
Yeah, just maybe indeed. And Ace is already building up to his Bastion ultimate, the tank form, ready to be unleashed at any moment. And COG0 right now is still stuck in the room on the outside of their spawn. They only have the Valkyrie to push them through, and I don't know whether they can even do it with just one ultimate.
Definitely look struggling even to touch the card at this point. You know, the Orisa, the Bastion pulls, they're all just denying space, and I don't think any of the tanks will actually survive a full engage coming from the team. But Mihawk takes out Ace.
But Mihawk on the side does manage to land a few Storm Arrow onto the body of the Bastion, but Angel returns the favor with 2 himself, and the tank form has been unleashed from Ace, which will catch 2 unsuspecting members of COG0, and COG0 just back to the spawn they go, seemingly having never even left the spawn.
I think at this point, Cog Zero might be experiencing what we call the mental boom. But see Daisy back onto the Tracer and Rimu onto the Zen. They might be looking to discard the Bastion out of his stronghold. But you see Pali and TXQ with the ultimates coming up. And with that Bongo, that Bastion is going to be a 1 lethal killing machine.
But COG0 actually managed to push the payload, force the payload underneath the bridge, and Nivis with a quick kill onto Angel. Maybe this can be the momentum turn for COG0, and with the Dragon Strike coming out on the ready for Mihawk, it seems like he's trying to look for the bunker, but Pali right now just battling, mercying both the supports for COG0, and with the help of Jaco catches out Rimu. And Jacob is still at advantage here as both of the tanks still have high ground control. But it seems like they're dropping now due to the minefield from the Notarix. Finally, COG0 trying to get some kills, and finally they do, as Daisy will catch out TXQ4, and NTRP will probably fall here.
Yes, Cog Zero finally breaking out a bunker comp from Jacob, but that Bastion and Torbjorn is probably, I think they're just going out of their heads right now, trying to, break the stronghold. Something they've probably never been scrimmed before or practiced against, But Jacob is still stuck onto that comp. They haven't swapped out to anything yet.
And Daisy with the Pulse Ball, nice Dragon Strike will catch out both Ace and Pali. So finally COG0 are getting some ground going, and yeah, certainly you might scream more than the other team, but if Jacob Bird pulls out such a wacky comp that you have never met before, COG0 probably doesn't know how to deal with this, as seen on first point when they were stuck in spawn, they kept trying to change compositions to figure out a way to break the bunker.
Yes, definitely. You see Navis and Noziel with only ones with the ultimates coming out from Cog Zero, and Jacobert has 4 ultimates coming out, but Daisy takes out Ace right off the bat, even before the fight starts.
It seems like the hidden weapon here for Daisy is finally unleashed, but a nice self-destruct from Nozzle actually catches out 2 from Jacobert, and finally COG0 actually push to the third point with a not bad time bank. 3 minutes, 40 seconds is nothing to scoff at here.
You see NTRP actually swapping off back to that Zarya right now. They probably realized, hey guys, we need to
We
stop
might
fooling
be
around.
losing.
Yeah, man. Like, Cog Zero with the tank, with the ball coming out actually, and the Nano and Trance, probably poses a threat to Jacobert because they have nothing. They probably only have that window and Jacob's and Ace's ult. But one good Nano and one good Pulse might just change the entire fight.
But the DPS comp of Jacobert and their tank lineup doesn't really match up because Ace is still on the Bastion and he probably just wants to use the ultimate by Jaco. Nice quick kill onto Mihawk, already stopping the push. A kill onto Jaco is probably not even enough to turn the fight around as Nozzle is so low. Nano Boost comes out on Nozzle to save him. Maybe he can be the one to turn this fight around. Eyes are locked in on Ace, doesn't even want him to use his ultimate and just pushing him off the high ground.
As you see Jacobert actually struggling, trying to keep that cool, but Ace pops off the ultimate and takes out Daisy right off the bat.
Yeah, and his eyes are just on the 2 squishies, the Baby Diva and the Ana just perched up there. He's just going to the spawn where he trusts the rest of his team to just clean up. But Transcendence being popped here from Rimu would enable them to shut down the mid out Jacob.
See Bali over here trying to take the 1v1 duel against Rimu. But you can see things are not going in the way of Jacobert right now. They only have their support and tank outs coming out, but one good fire strike to deny the point might just give COG the win.
And they cannot stagger here because COG0 are so close to the finishing point. Late swaps on both DPSs from Jacobert, and the late swap actually managed to get pulled off because Ace catches the headshot onto Nivis and the Transcendence to turn the fight around from Pali and catches out Daisy after he gets out of his Transcendence. Rimu trying to catch Enzo. Leonard Briggs catches Pali but takes his own life in the water. It's just anti-RP and Jaco on the point, but Rimu is so low. They need to catch up Mihawk now, and they do. And seems like the last moment, Jacobert finally steps up their game, realizes that they don't want to lose just yet.
Yes, they probably would not want to pull a Jaeger in this scenario right now. Cog Zero actually coming out with that Nano and Pulse, and Noziel actually back on the Zarya. But you see Jaco with Jaco actually gets taken out by Daisy out of nowhere, and Jacobert not having any ultimates up their sleeves other than their ball out, things might not look so good for Jacobert.
And Nivis has his Nano Boost, and he proves that if the stable Nano Boost onto Leonard Briggs, maybe they can just win this map right here, right now. Daisy on the ice with Pulse Bomb, with Nano Boost coming out on Leonard Briggs, cleaving the backline for Jacobert, but for now, they are still alive, still safe in their own spawn, and the Mindful from Aizo will just clear the point off for COG0.
See Cog Zero trying to retreat right now, trying to stabilize against their failed attempt on the Nano Winston. You see the supports actually dropping really low, with Navis on the pick onto Jacobert.
And nice stick onto Ace will enable Daisy to turn the numbers advantage into COG0's favor. And Mihawk catches Pali. I think the map here is already over. And it seems like at the last minute, Jacobert might have thought they would have an easy series win, but COG turned it around and actually win Watch Point Gibraltar.
That's crazy. Your RXs, I need you to chant with me, reverse sweep. Because if Jaco continues to do things like that, they might just get swept up by Cog Zero. I think Jaco really needs to step up the game and realize, hey guys, we are losing this. We are losing a map right now. So if they want to end this series fast, they probably have to step up their game and stop playing mystery heroes.
They need to put their heads back into the game,
Yeah, definitely. I have no clue what was going on. They had an advantage with a 6-minute cap, but they decided to just throw it out the window off the cliffs of Watch Point Gibraltar.
Well, if there's anything to go into, it seems Jacobert actually has the map pick here, so they can choose a map that favors their team's playstyle. And COG's map pick actually went into their favor, but maybe I don't really think it was an instant of COG0 stepping up, more like Jaco not being overconfident and playing it down.
Definitely, anything could happen in the next map. If Jacobert actually gets affected by this loss over here, things might not go so well for them. But Cog Zero really still has to step it up because getting pushed by a Torbjorn Junkrat 6 minutes onto third point isn't really something that you want to be facing. And I think Cog Zero really has to they have to buck up their
Ah.
mental.
COG Zero in the first 2 points of the defense couldn't even touch the payload, but somehow Jacobert got a little bit too cocky and suddenly swapped to Orisa Hawk and swapped around their tank roles, and COG Zero off the back of that defended for 6 minutes, which led them on their own attack to take over.
Yeah, I think Jake over here looks like they're just quote unquote throwing for content right now. But 1v2 Cog Zero to Jacobert. What do you think going to the next map? What do you think might turn up for each of these teams, Arexis?
Well, certainly if it's Jacobert's map pick, if they are serious, they'll probably pick a map that will favor their Broadcom, wouldn't you think, Ayako?
Definitely. I think Jacobert, if they don't pick a broad map for the next map, I don't know what's going on in their heads right now. But we'll probably see a broad comp or even a dive comp actually, since Jacob is actually pretty flexible onto swapping any of these comps, as we could see from Michael Malt. So yeah, but Cog Zero still winnable, but
definitely.
they really need to step up their game, especially with the hammer kills coming out from Jacobert. You do not want to see that. So yeah.
I think Knifefish should be a little bit terrified of Ace. Actually died twice to Ace's hammer.
Definitely. So now as we wait, what do you think about the tank performances coming out from each of these teams? Especially on the first point for Jacobert with that bunker.
I don't really know if we should even count last map because Enzo and NTRP were actually off-rolling there, right?
That's true.
But Leonoptrix, when he gets the Nano Boost, was able to just clear the space on the side of Jacobert, so yeah.
Nano Winston probably looking like the main win condition coming out from Cog Zero. We haven't really seen any flashy graph pulses coming out. So I think that's one thing Jacobert actually really has to take note of, that Nano Winston might be lethal if they do not have anything up their sleeves to counter. As you can see from when Jacobert was playing Brick Zen, they had no answers to that at all. So
well, it seems like the substitution of Daisy did work wonders for COG0 as they take Watchpoint Gibraltar, but we're going back to a 1-minute break. Stick around because the series will continue once again soon. So we're back with the action, and it seems that the action will be taking us to the fourth map because Jacobert looking a bit shaky there with their might be overconfidence. We don't really know. Maybe they actually planned that, but I don't really think so. But the fourth map will be Temple of Anubis. This is Jacobert's map pick, so theoretically speaking, they'll have the advantage here. So what compositions do you expect? And do you think Jacobert has what it takes to just finish the series up quickly without taking us to a map 5 here, Ayako?
Well, Temple of Anubis is actually a really flexible map. Unlike Watchpoint Gibraltar, which favors more of the Winston, ball kind of dive comps. Okay, but Temple of Anubis actually might benefit a rush comp. Coming out with the Ryan Diva, the May McCree, if they were just to take the high ground away from the opponent team. But it also benefits an Ash Tracer comp, a ball comp, or Winston comp coming out from whichever team plays it. So it really boils down to whichever team is able to, stabilize and play objectives correctly. But things could go both ways, for this map, Temple of Anubis, since it's also, a 2 CP map, which everyone loves.
Yeah, definitely. But sometimes we said Watchpoint Gibraltar will be obviously Winston, but Jacobert decided to pull out the Orisa Hawk, so who knows what these teams are up to today.
Definitely.
And
we might even see a Symmetra Bastion popping up from Jacobert. Who knows? It all comes down to whoever's attacking on this map. So
if it gets the job done, why not, right?
Yeah, but does not seem like it for the last map, Watchpoint Gibraltar. It might have worked for 6 minutes, but anything could happen coming up to this.
The weather is so humid these days, and another map where it's definitely humid will be the desert. Desert. Oh my god, I wanted to say desert, but then I said desert. Oh my god.
Well, I think the last game shook both of us up really badly.
Yeah.
Confused us right now.
Thankfully, it didn't. COG 0 might have looked a bit mental boomed on their first point attack, but thankfully, because they won that map, maybe their mental has been reset coming into this. Maybe they think they can turn this series around. But let's see what happens, because Jacobert will be on the defense and Jaco on his signature Junkrat.
Yes, definitely. Jaco's Junkrat being proven really lethal in the past few maps we have seen. Even on Watchpoint Gibraltar, he was doing wonders on attack. But you see Cog0 hitting up with the Echo Tracer comp and Lucio. You actually see a Lucio Moira coming out from Cog0. That's new.
Yeah, the overlays are a bit swapped right now. It will be Jacobert actually on the left side on the defense, and Ace taking a really aggressive angle here, and it actually works as he catches out Jin. So without the pressure on the DPSL of COG0, I think they're forced to fall back into spawn.
Yes, Jaco with the Junkrat probably locking down the entire left side of the entire right side of the map, but Mihawk takes out Aizo right off the bat. But Jaco makes a trade to compensate for that.
Yeah, just stalling time to await his main tank's return, but COG0 doesn't want to wait for them to regain advantage because they're looking to go in now, and with Leonoptrix on the ball, trying to look for any engages he can. He's going onto the back line deep in as Angel returns on the ball, trying to come back as fast as possible. Ace on the sidelines, just on the opposite map or the bulk of COG0, trying to look if he can get any picks. Nozzles dives in, catches out Ace, but he's quite low. But COG0 has the high ground advantage here.
As you can see, everyone's trying to focus on the Jaco right now, but Jaco's still really free though. Aizo takes out Navis with the ball, and Jaco takes out 2, takes out 3 from Cog0.
For a second there, I thought COG0 might have just broken open, but Jaco just coming on the Junkrat and with the mines and the bombs catches out 3, and COG0 are just left running, tails between their legs.
I think Cog0 really has to look out for Jaco in this map, especially when he knows how to benefit his team with that Junkrat, and he has that tire coming up. With Cog0 we have nothing on their life right now.
And the infra side would just let Jaco know where everybody is positioned, which would enable his Riptide to catch out anyone he seeks. But Mihawk, good job there, catches out Jaco's Riptide, but they don't have a main tank, and now they don't have Jin, so it's still Jacobert winning the fight. And Jaco right now just sitting up on his throne, just lobbing down grenades from above.
We have 4 ults coming out from Cog0 right now. We have the Ball, Diva, and the Copy, and the Beat coming out. Actually 5 ults, even with Jin on the pulse. Jacobert probably has to figure out how they're going to stop this engage, especially with the Mihawk Copy coming up. He might copy a Widow or Zarya even.
Oh
my. Ace picks out Jin right off the bat, even before the fight starts, and the Nano Brick comes out.
Nano break, but he just gets dropped down to the low ground. Mihawk actually catches Jaco and copies on the Widowmaker, trying to take the duel in his own hands, but just gets caught out. But he does catch out Mihawk before getting caught up in the graph, which actually leads to Remu's downfall, and TXQ for 2 kills for him. It seems like once again, Jaco but eventually will have the numbers advantage to lead them to the fight win, but Mihawk on the outskirts does catch out Jaco, but he's all alone and he doesn't have any team to fall back on.
Looks like Mihawk is going for the old spawn camp.
Yeah, the bubble is there.
Bubble, yeah. But things aren't looking too good for COG0 right now. They're just struggling against Jacobert right now. Like, you see that even though they have taken advantages, but they're still fumbling with the picks coming out from Ace and Jaco, and even TXQ, who took out 2 beforehand.
Yeah, but they do have 3 ultimates here, but they only have 30 seconds left, and if they lose this fight, they just get full health and are just looking down on a possible draw. Leonard Briggs is so deep right now with Enzo just chasing him down. Nano Boost once again coming up from on the break. TXQ for trying to do whatever he can for his team, but a nice sticky bomb catches out both Pali and TRP, which might have just been finally the opener that COG0 have been waiting for to cap first point.
Definitely, Jacobert lost the first point right now. They're probably looking to establish a defense onto the second, with Ace popping the sights from Widow.
And the last
COG0 actually looking really good going to the second fight, because they do have 2 crucial ultimates, 3 in fact, coming from Mihawk, Jin and Luciel. But Jaco just dying there to
but
Jin.
Jin dies.
The Jin actually gets traded off by the brick. TXQ's brick actually popping off on this Temple of Anubis map.
What are they all doing in the room right now? Angel's Minefield is just able to catch everyone, just hiding in this small room, and COG0 has 2.5 minutes. Not bad, but they need to make the most use of this time.
Yeah, we see Jacobert with the tire right there. That's the only ult they have, going up against 4 ults and a potential 5th ult coming out from COG0.
But they don't even need any ultimate advantage if Ace is just there to just pick off Jin, and they're forced to wait once again for the Ashe, and Jacobert with his Riptire catches out both supports, which just stops the fight immediately in their tracks.
I think one strong thing about Jaco playing on the Junkrat is that he is really spontaneous, and you never know what Jaco is gonna do on the Junkrat. Poses a big threat onto COG0. See, COG0 actually used the copy and the beat as well. Remu going all the way to swapping to Mercy right now, and Mihawk back onto the Tracer. Things aren't looking too good for COG0 if they continue to,
What?
What? A grab?
Spawn camp grab from the south, and TRP actually catches out Remu. Jacobert are just doing the ultimate BM right now, not letting COG0 even walk out from their spawn doors. And it seems like it's actually working, because COG0 don't know what to do against the high charge Xayah just perched up in their spawn doors.
Well, this really looks like a mental boom coming out from COG0. Even though when they're up on ultimates, they are still being literally spawn camped by the entire team of Jacobert.
And even if they win this fight, Jacobert still have the time to respawn back to the second point before COG0 even walks to the point from their spawn.
Wait, we actually see Lucio.
Oh.
We actually see Remu.
He get back fast.
I think he's going back onto the spawn. Does he get 1 tick? He gets 1 tick!
And
While
that
the entire team of COG0 actually was spawn camping. Does he make it
fuck.
back out alive though?
Well, finally, Jacobert needs to get forced back to the point, but Remu falls while trying to get a tick, which he actually does, but without the Lucio there and now without the Tracer, it will be tough for COG0 to push him, because you have to realize any death on the attack costs twice as much as if you die on the defense. And a Nano Boost onto the Junkrat, Bob trying to zone out anyone from touching the point. But they need to stand on the point right now, the Bob going down, no more poke, no more pressure from their side as Ace is trying to unleash his Tracer power onto Jin.
See, COG0 actually struggling to keep on the trade with Jacobert, as Jacobert actually comes back out with the grab and the minefields. Things aren't looking too good for COG0 with both of their tanks down.
A valiant attack onto the pulse bomb for Mihawk, but it just gets into NDRP's bubble, but it's just 2 members left at the point for COG0. They might be able to get a few kills here and there, but I think at the end of the day, Jacobert will just come out victorious on this one. But in fairness, COG0 did manage to get 1 tick and almost 2 ticks. So the map is still winnable for COG0, but they need to
Definitely,
really
this game
step
is
up the game.
definitely, this is definitely not a drawable game. Jacobert actually spawn camping, almost losing the map if Cog Zero actually manages to step up. But you see now that they actually have 62% only. We don't know what Jacobert is gonna answer to that. On their attack. But Cog Zero really has to step up because this is winnable. But at the same time, looking at Jacobert's track record, this is definitely losable.
I wouldn't even be surprised if Jaco just comes out on the attack and just wins 2 fights in a row to just win the map. They're just a team that is just so able to just build on their own momentum and just rush down any opponent they face.
Yes, definitely. Jacobert is like what I would like to call a definition of an actual team of 6 monkeys doing monkey business,
Uh,
But when
a monkey-controlled bulldozer. They just build
yeah,
up momentum over time, just rolling and rolling and rolling.
like what they say, apes together strong. So
Yeah.
that and plus their spontaneous gameplay and their randomness, with the top-down Junkrat coming out just now, you know, Jacobert has that firepower and that randomness to surprise any teams they're going up against. But Kong Zero, on the other hand, they really need to learn how to stabilize and to know that Jacobert is gonna do all these kinds of weird patterns coming out. So yeah.
Yeah, and Jacob but now will be on the attack. Let's see what I can pull off using a Lucio brick composition, something we don't really see much these days, and Ace back on his Widowmaker trying to put a stop onto Mihawk. So Widowmaker just a duel right now, which will be won by Ace so quick. The pressure is down, sidelines are gone for COG0, and they just falls back to retreat, and the brick already falls for Jacob. As I said, I wouldn't even be surprised if Jacob just wins the fight off the bat, and it seems like my prediction is true.
Yes, Jacobert literally just walked in. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say walk, because they all just walked straight onto the stairs right there and just
walk,
took
man,
out
just
the
walk.
entire team. But we see a
Oh.
little control pressing from Pali
Bit of
over here.
a bit of a tactical left control pressing here from Pali, and Mihawk needs to get out right now, if not he'll just get caught out. But before that, he just get a kill on the TXQ4, which might put a stop to Jacobert's rush if Pali doesn't just reign free on the backline as Lucio, and they just need to get 2 ticks right now, and it seems like they will.
This is definitely still losable though on the side of Jacobert because of spawn advantage, but things are not looking too good. They're still forgetting to cap the point. They have Tracer stalling the point right now against few members of Jacobert. You see Doom Ace actually being antied and being 1 HP in the crevices of the map.
But the supports are there for Ace to get healed up, and Mihawk actually doesn't take him down but gets taken down instead, and Ace just gets 2, but nice anti, nice grab, get Nozzle 3 kills actually with a well-placed ultimate. And seems like COG0 will finally stabilize, but not yet. Pali just comes in with a beat, but there's only 3 members of Jacobert left on the attack. And I think they even commit the rally, so they really want to win this right now, right here. But COG0 are just running all back on the point, but like, nice kill on the Jade. They're just cleaning up all of COG0's. They need to get a few kills here, if not they'll just lose this series. And it seems like Jaco has free real estate, just soaring on above on the Echo and the wings of Jacobert. Once again reigns free as they'll take Temple of the Newbies and win our semifinals, pushing them to a grand finals tomorrow. 3-1 win versus COG0.
I'm speechless. I'm really speechless. Like, you can see from this map itself, especially the last fight, how much confidence Jacobert actually has in their team. With the beat and the rally coming out from Jacobert when there's like 3 members down against Cog Zero. And like I've mentioned before, Cog Zero really needs to learn how to stabilize against a team like Jacobert, which Jacobert knows how to do really well. They know how to stay alive, they know how to play objectives, and coming into 2CP, which is a map based on stabilizing and staying safe, Jacobert takes the win.
Yeah, it seems like my prediction is actually correct. They won 2 fights in a row and just snowball into second point. I actually thought COG0 was going to stabilize there, but somehow or another, Jacobert realizes that the fight was still winnable, decides to commit both their supports ultimate, and end of the day, Ace came back on the Doomfist, Jaco came back on the Echo, and somehow they just won the map right there.
Yes, definitely. They trickled in one by one to the point when Jacob Bird was just playing as a team, taking out the members of Cog Zero out, and they just won like that as a team, even when they're at a disadvantage of spawn.
Yeah, and seems like the first semi-final match is already done in the books. And we'll be taking a short break before doing our post-match discussion and a preview of the next semi-final. See you soon. Perfect timing, sir.
Whoa, that was such an back and forth map. I'm not sure whether you call it back and forth. It's just like a one-sided map by Jacob just mopping the floor with the bodies of the members of Cog Zero. And I've seen the chat. I've seen the chat. You know, throwing for content. It might be real, and it's really mighty impressive, man. When we had like the 6-minute time bank in the third map of Gibraltar, and to the graph in the spawn by Jacob against Cog Zero. I mean, guys. Can you not love Jacob Bird anymore? They are being so random. They took out the Oriza as well as the Hawk composition, and they've been playing so many shenanigans and the top hammer in the third map. Right? What's not to like about Jacob Bird, man? So let's just dissect this a bit, RXs as well as Ayako. Like, we've seen so many like mean plays by Jacob Bird and some tactical crouching that we all love to see by Pali, you know, and like you know, earlier on during the break, Ayako and I, we were talking like, you know, what actually stood out for Jacob Bird was Pali. So Ayako, would you like to explain like what you thought Pali was doing so well to helping Jacob Bird actually win the last map, you know?
I think, you know, usually when fights end up like what we saw just now at the end, you know, with the support ultimates with Brig, let's say Brig and Lucio, for example, usually
Alright.
teams will be like, all right, let's back out. You know, let's not go in. And then for the next fight, we go in with, you know, this support
Everything.
ultimate and win the fight. Yeah. But no, they just beat it and then they just rallied. But at the same time, Pali took out, I think, 2 players while he was doing that. So actually, Pali turned that last fight. I mean, on the kill feed, it was Pali, but you know, it might be a team effort. But definitely, Pali was one of the game changers in that last fight.
Right, and also I'm gonna blow your mind, right? Ayako and RX's Pali is actually deaf. I have no idea how he pulls this off. He hears the
So,
team cues.
Actually, I already knew this, but actually he's not. I'm pretty sure he's half deaf.
Partially. Yeah. But still, like he would have a hard time listening to calls and comms by his team. and knowing when is the right time to actually beat, and hearing sound cues from the enemy, like who's sneaking up against him and whatnot. But and yet, with 3 guys in the team at the last point of Anubis, and he made it happen with the beat as well as the rally, and then they won the fight. I'm like, what?
Yeah, especially since he's a flag support player, is one of the most vulnerable positions to dive in the
I
game.
know. Man, my mind is just blown, but it goes to show like the amount of dominance Jacob would bring to the table tomorrow in the finals. I'm not sure who's gonna win next in our next match, which is HHG versus Connect Gaming, the brother team to Cox Zero, or COG Zero, which is the sisters team to Connect Gaming. So we might see a different tier of players going into the next match. But with that being said, Jacob was such in a dominant position. If they won that point, they got it. But it seemed to me as well as Cox Zero did had a hard time establishing any sort of control against Jacob, especially in the second map when I was watching in Eichenwald. The tanks of Jacob, especially Einzo, his Winston was just so superior, man. He just goes in balls deep and just whack everyone around and nothing. He wasn't being punished at all. And we saw the swap from Jin to Daisy and Daisy back to Jin. Like, did it actually help? Like, RXs, the swap, Jin to Daisy. Like, do you think that was a good swap, or do you think they should have stuck with Daisy in the last map and maybe they could have come back?
I think at the point when you already lost 2 maps with Jin and you won one with Daisy, right? I feel like since maybe they have practiced with Jin, but at the point in time, Daisy was the one. Actually, he did a really good job on the Tracer, displacing the comp from Jaco. I think they should have kept him in because they'll be able to carry on the momentum from Watchpoint Gibraltar. While Daisy's hands are still hot, he's still warmed up and ready for action.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
However, I
But they
beg
need to
differ
defend for
because,
5 minutes.
going to
As you say,
Temple of
Pali
Anubis,
and TXQ
usually a
actually
tracer
go
will be
ultimate,
easily
but
shut
game
down,
is
and
with
like
that
DPS
nano
players
boost
usually have to
coming
swap
out.
out a lot of
So
comps,
Cox
in
Zero
maps like
actually
2CP
has a
and
really
stuff.
good
So
chance
having
of
a staple
utilizing
tracer
actually
might not
defend
actually be a benefit to
Cox
Cox Zero going onto a 2CP map like Temple of Anubis. So even if they swapped out Daisy, I'll probably understand why. But to keep the momentum up is really important. For games like Overwatch, when you get a momentum going, your team starts running and stuff like that. So it might
Just
be a
go
hit
with
to
it.
the momentum. Yeah, it might be a hit to the momentum when they swapped out Daisy for Jin.
And you can tell at a certain point in time, especially when Jacobert started to spawn camp on the defense on both Temple of Anubis and Gibraltar, they had all the confidence in the world. And at that point in time, for COG Zero on the flip side, it can really take a mental toll, as what Ayako and a lot of people call the mental boom. And
boom.
when you're in that state of mind where you know you're just being spawn camp, being rolled so hardly, it can be really tough to get your head back in the game and just reset, just think about the next fight, ignore what happened previously, and it can be really hard.
That is true. That is true. It certainly seemed that after they were rolled that hard in Gibraltar, right? Cox Zero really had, they were second guessing every selection of heroes they even picked. Like, are they going to dive me? What are they going to run? Because Jacobert was running such a diverse range of heroes just for the memes, but that actually caused Cox Zero to second guess themselves, and that might be why Jacobert Jacobert was actually being so dominant, just with the variety of heroes they were playing. Like what you mentioned, Ayako, mystery heroes.
Yes, definitely. Like Jacobert, like I said before, they're a team. Like I mentioned to RXs during the match, they are a team where a term apes are strong together.
Apes
Yep.
So
together
whatever
strong.
ape together strong, yeah, correct. So like whatever they play, they're still able to play as a team, which comes down to the fact that Overwatch is still a team game. It's not defined by what heroes you play. It's more of how you play as a team. So that actually makes Jacobert brings Jacobert a tier upon the other teams we have
Yep.
in this entire series.
Yep, that is true. But also, let's come back to the question, right? So, if let's say we see Jacobert versus whichever team that wins later in the finals, the grand finals, do you see like any weaknesses, Jacobert, that other teams, either HHG or Connect Gaming, could actually use to exploit? Is basically Does Jacobert crumbles whenever like let's say you take off Pali or you get a early kill against overextending Ainzo? Like
Well,
any weaknesses you see here?
not really the in-game stuff, but you can see at certain points in time, Jacob Bird can really get ahead of themselves and they can get a little bit too overconfident. As you
Right.
can see there, it can really bite them in the back. And if a team knows how to take advantage of that and just capitalize on their overconfidence, they
All
can
right.
they can probably take Jacob Bird and win them when they're unsuspecting.
Yes, definitely. Going up against a team which knows how to, abuse this kind of, proud gameplay, spawn camping and whatnot, one can really easily turn the tides. If let's say Jacob Bird were to misplay or whatnot. So it really comes down to how their opponents are going to handle the situation of being spawn camped, or handling against team comps which they have never practiced before. So yeah, so it comes down to which team is the better team, rather than which team has the better heroes.
That is true. That is true. So, okay. So, I mean, like later on, it's going to be HHG versus Connect Gaming. And we see a lot of really good players with both of these teams. But would there be any, in the flip side, let's talk about Connect Gaming Zero, Cog Zero, right? Do you see like any star players that actually stood out to you, which actually gave the fight towards Jacobert in the earlier matches?
I think for most of the maps, I think many would agree that Leon on the Winston, even
Yeah.
though he
Yep.
was like being over dominant, like under dominant, sorry, like against Ainzo on the Winston, as you can see from the kill feed. But Leon was doing so much on that Winston, putting pressure onto Jaco, especially when Jacobert was on the Brixen comp.
Right.
Especially
Right.
on watch point, he was doing so much on the Winston, and then you also have Mihawk, who was like, just trying to go head to toe against Ace on the sniper comps and stuff. So but if you were to point down to like whichever member stood out the most to me, it'd definitely be their main tank on Cog Zero, Leo. Like he really like did
Yep.
a lot.
He was there, yeah, toe to toe with Ainzo. But RXs, you saw the potentness that was Mihawk on Widowmaker in the second map. You remember he was just shooting
Yeah.
down targets left, right, and center. It seemed like Jacobert was struggling against Mihawk there, and they really had to, get Jaco with a tracer as well as Ainzo to actually dive on him coordinated, to actually get the threat of the Widowmaker off from their backs, and that was where Jacobert could actually move forwards in Icon Vault. So, like, do you feel that Mihawk would be the star player for Cog Zero, RXs?
I know because even though Mihawk had some pop off moments,
Flashy plays, yeah.
he wasn't really able to do much at the end of the day because on the other side, Ace was just on his own Widowmaker. I would say that Ace won the duel. So even though Mihawk got some shots in, at the end of the day, he was still shut down a lot. So I think this isn't his full capability that we saw today, and I'm excited to see what he continues to do on this team. Because you have to remember, Mihawk actually was on the main team last time for Connect Gaming. And he actually dropped down to COG Zero, and maybe this is a training arc for him, like a redemption arc, get back
Yeah,
up to the
that
main
is
team.
true.
So excited to see what the future holds for COG Zero and the organization itself.
All right. With that being said, we will be right back again with HHG, which is Hennessy's Gaming versus Connect
Hennessy's
Gaming.
hunting ground.
Sorry, Hennessy's Hunting Ground. That is right, the Singaporean team with honorary Honky in the
Hong Kong.
team, right? So we'll be back with that match, HHG versus Connect Gaming, in a short while. And right now we'll just take a break, and we'll be right back with you really shortly. Hello once again and welcome back to the PAC Overwatch Community Rivals Season 1. So just now we just witnessed Jacobert versus COZ 0 when we saw it was a little bit one-sided, but not to worry. The next match we're gonna have HHG, which is Hennessy's Hunting Ground versus Connect Gaming. So this is like the brother to COZ 0. So with these two teams, both of these teams are actually quite, in the group stages they were doing really well. Like Hennessy Hunting Ground, they actually went undefeated. They defeated Indomie Gang. They defeated Melon Pun Kingdom as well as Pew Pew Piglet in Group D of day one with no losses and no map losses. This was in the first stage, which was done last week. But however, they only lost a single map in the Group F of Group Stage Day 2 to a different team. So, which is, I would also like to point out, like I've been watching their VODs and their games last week, and I would like to say that they are really coordinated as a team. That is because maybe they're all Singaporeans, but maybe Ayako as well as RXs has more to weigh in on that. But meanwhile, let's talk about Connect Gaming. So Connect Gaming is a team that is based in Japan here. They, again, like HHG, they were undefeated in the group stages of Group A day one, but they lost a single map to Meow, which I think that was a bit of a fluke there. But nevertheless, in Group E stage day of day 2, they went they lost 0-2 against Jacobert. Like earlier, Jacobert was just being so dominant even in the earlier match, but they defeated Black Shark as well as Indomie. So let's talk a bit on these two teams. Also, joining me today is Ayako again, as well as RXs. So RXs, Ayako, you guys were doing fantastic with the broadcast earlier. So much information and so much entertainment from both of you. Were we talking about desserts or deserts in Anubis and whatnot? So guys, let's talk about both these teams. Like, dude, I'm pretty sure both of you are really familiar with Hennessy Hunting Ground or HHG. Like, do you think there are any star players or any players to watch out in Team HHG? Let's start with you, RXs.
Well, actually, Hennessy's Hunting Ground is a team with some experienced players, but a lot of rookies, and I think it's up to the more experienced players, and these players will be Azalea on the DPS and Minju on the tank line, and it's up to them because from what I know, Minju is one of the main shot callers of the team, and it's up to him to lead this team. So I'll be watching out for those two in particular, especially Azalea, because I know that this team actually runs a lot of Sombra comps, and when you run Sombra compositions, a lot of times it's up to the Sombra player to lead the team.
That is true. For Ayako, meanwhile, you were the ex-teammate of one of these guys, right? So do you have any experience or any insider information? Now is the time to gossip, throw some shit, out there, I don't like this guy. This guy has been tilting all my games and shit. Yes. Go on. Spill the juice.
I'm gonna first talk about Azalea because he is one of the first batches of Overwatch players in Singapore. So what I call the OG players, back from 2016.
Oh, like Bubble Kitty and all.
Way before that.
Okay.
When names like Doubted, MZ, all these kind of players. So he was there all the way back then. He's one of the more potent DPS players around. So after so many years, he still probably has kept his fire going. So he's one of the DPS players I would keep an eye on, because he'll be bringing his expertise and experience definitely into this game. Then Minju, on the other hand, he is
Minju.
I would say one of, if not the best current off tank in Southeast Asia. I wouldn't say Pacific, but in Southeast Asia. Yes, he's probably one of the best sub tank because of his mechanical skill and his ability to just lead in a team scenario. But if you don't kill him, he'll kill you. So,
if you don't kill him, he kill you. Okay. So it says who kill who first. Stay right soon for who kill who first. Okay. So I'm not going to do any. Yeah.
kind of like the tank version of Jaco, you know, like you don't sit down, he's gonna
Very, very aggressive and very straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's talk a bit. Meanwhile, I want to divert the attention back to the patch notes. That was the live patch notes, which was released on March 11, 2021, where we had a bit of fine tuning in terms of Genji. You know, he has his Shuriken recovery from 0.75 to 0.68, as well as the cost, the ultimate cost for Dragon Blade was increased by 15%. We also have some May changes. We had a bit more healing per second for the Cryo Freeze, as well as the Pharah. The Hover Jet regeneration has increased from 35 to 43, as well as Reaper, where the damage per projectile was increased from 5.5 to 6. Like, given that we know that Desire from Team Hennessy Hunting Ground does actually play some Reaper, as well as Azalea plays a bit of Sombra, do you see like any of or either of these teams like Connect Gaming or Hennessy Hunting Ground, would they actually like use these changes or these heroes in the games that we're gonna see later?
Alexis, do you have anything for that?
Yep, go ahead, man.
This one, Ayako, since you're the one who plays both here.
The
Okay,
buddy with
so
them.
I think if they want to abuse the patch changes, we probably see a bit more Sombra, because you know Sombra is a really really annoying hero to play against, especially when the meta is more of a dive and rush. Sombra can pretty much stop the entire push and entire
That is
fight
true.
with one ultimate. So knowing this, I don't know, we might probably see a bit more Sombra picks coming out from the side of HHG. I don't know, I'm not sure about the Reaper, because you know there are a lot of heroes like, let's say for example, if they pick Winston Farah or they pick a McCree, Reaper is pretty much rendered useless. But I mean, it all comes down
But
to
against Winston as well?
yeah, even against Winston, because you know, you have the double bubble, you know. So
All
like, even
right.
if the Winston jumps in, you have to go through that bubble and Winston's bubble at the same time.
Yeah,
so
there's a lot of
in
H.
the end,
Yeah.
in the end, it still comes down to whichever team pulls off, you know, their team comps better. So like you have mentioned before, like HSG likes to play the Sombra, so I'm expecting them to probably run it a bit more. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Meanwhile, let's not just put all the limelight on HHG. Let's talk a bit on Connect Gaming, right? Since the AKG days, right, half their roster has been changed to a new set of faces. Like we had Lepine, we had Mint. Like I'm hearing some insider information earlier, right, that some of these players were actually from Contenders team or whatnot. Like RXs, like would you be able to fill us out like any changes in this team? We have Miko, Lepine, KSG, ASK,
Yeah.
Mint.
Connect Gaming actually has 3 of their newer members who actually joined at the same time, and that's Lapine, Mint, and Liz. Now, Lapine and Mint are actually quite experienced players. They previously played for a team called Fortuna, most recently
Ooh.
known as D81 Fortuna, which actually played in the recent last year's Contenders Season 1, and they are a really consistent team that has been hovering around Contenders and Contenders trials for quite some time, and bring in the experience of these 2 players will certainly bolster the lineup. And Lapin's DPS is not one to scoff at. He's a really, really flexible DPS, somewhat like the Jaco from last match, but a bit more toned down, not as aggressive, maybe plays a bit more Sparta. And Liz, on the other hand, is actually he's one of the more inexperienced players on the
Right.
Japanese scene, but that's not to say bad of him. I think this is probably his first time in like a really professional team setting. I think previously he only played for an amateur team, but yeah, new additions for Connect Gaming. Let's see whether they can take it against Hennessy Hunting Ground.
Okay, let's talk about the tank lineups. Meanwhile, we have KSG on the side of Connect Gaming playing the main tank, and also on the side of HHG we have Tua Tao K, which is he's actually quite a character we all know, and some of us don't like him, some of us love him. So yes, between both of these 2 main tanks, take your pick. Who would actually win the Ryan versus Ryan or Winston versus Winston? Let's start
you
with
want to handle this one?
RXS or Ayako. Go ahead.
Okay. Hot take.
Hot take.
TDK can probably out-tank PSG.
Oh, what? Serious? Oh.
Wait.
Whoa. Okay.
But
But
it
the
depends
disclaimer
on-
comes.
it depends on how TDK's mental is, because TDK is a tank that really rides on momentum. Like once
Mhm.
if you start the game going, he can just keep on going and going and going. But if he takes a hit, whatnot, the chances of him falling back is very high. So it's kind of like a casino, like hit or miss.
Roll the
You know,
dice.
yeah, you roll the dice. So, but however, KSG on the other hand is a really really good tank player. So I don't know much about his play style. Maybe he's a more conservative, more slow pace, not much of a flashy kind of tank. But when it comes down to mechanical playstyle, mechanical skill, I think KSG wins. But in the team setting, if TTK is able to, surprise, for example, like Einzo and whatnot, TTK can actually, in our terms, rank gap
Oh
KSG.
wow.
If they're playing
Okay.
right. I
That's
don't know about other
that's
picks. So yeah.
Interesting.
okay. Let's meanwhile look at the starting lineup of HSG. We have Minju here as the off tank, TTK as the the main tank, Azalea and Desire, as well as Death and Shadow Leeton. Okay, so on the side of Connect Gaming, on the other hand, we have Nico playing the DPS, Lapine playing. Oh, sorry. Nico playing the DPS as well as Lapine, Nevis and Liz playing the support, and KSG as well as Ask playing the tank for Connect Gaming.
Navis should be a typo, right? He should be mint because Navis is actually the other team's player.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I think we did an oopsie here, right? But nevertheless, let's talk
Yeah.
about support versus support. Since Ayako, you are a support main. Like we have Shadow Leeton and Hanker, or as well as let's see, Vas. I'm not sure whether Vas plays support, but let's talk about support wise. Do you see Liz or Remono out supporting Shadow Leeton and Hanker? Do you have any experience with either of
Okay.
these
So
supports?
Hanker is actually my ex teammate. So
Mhm.
I know that okay, if on paper the team players on Connect Gaming definitely stand out. But knowing Shadow Litten and Hank, or whoever the flex support is going to be playing later on, they
Mhm.
have this surprise factor because like we know, okay, Shadow Litten is actually a Lucio main, so he plays a lot of Lucio, and one other Lucio main we know is Overshake, and Overshake actually was a pain in the ass when we were playing against his team last year. So Shadow Litten actually is one of the mechanical Lucio players in this region who can keep on par with Overshake.
Oh,
So we'll
wow.
probably see some surprises coming out from the support line on the on HSG. But if we talk about stability wise, I think Connect Gaming probably stands one level above them. But you never know. You never know because they might just Lucio diff Connect
Yeah.
Gaming and stuff like that. So yeah.
All right. Okay, and that is Hennessy Hunting Ground versus Connect Gaming. The first map that's going to be played would be Lijiang Tower, and going into Lijiang Tower, we have a lot of interesting compositions. We even might have Far Mercy that we will see in Lijiang Gardens, and who knows, right? So do take it away. HHG versus Connect Gaming. RX's Ayako, you guys do it best. So take it away.
Yeah, first map of the second semi-finals will be deciding who goes on to the finals to meet Jacobert, and we'll be starting off actually on the same map that started us on the previous series. This will be the higher seeds, Hennessy's Hunting Grounds map pick, and I know that Hennessy's Hunting Ground probably knows that this is a map favorable for them because from their previous game, they really love to run this composition, the Sombra Reaper, Winston Diva, Moira Lucio. They were somewhat prevalent last year during the Overwatch League playoffs. And Lijiang Tower is a really good map, especially Gardens, to start that on.
Yeah, definitely. However, Connect Gaming on the other hand is known to be playing a really potent dive and rush comp as well, with under the leadership of Nico and and being the aggressiveness of KFG being able to make space for the team. So we really don't know like what teams will prevail. It comes down to whichever team is able to be more dominant than the other team. So this is one match definitely to look forward to.
Let's see what composition Connect Gaming will be playing with this map. In the last few matches, Connect Gaming actually showed a lot of different faces. They do play the May McCree Brawl, but they also have the double bubble and they also play the ball Zyder. So they actually have a versatile pocket of a lot of compositions they like to pull in. during the group stages, it seems like nothing could really stop them aside from Jacobert. So let's see whether Hennessy's hunting ground here actually has the willpower and the physical capability to stop Connect Gaming. And starting off, it will be Control Center, and this map is a really rush heavy map. What do you say, Ayako?
Definitely. As you can see from the hero picks right now, you see the staple Ryan, Baptiste, and Lucio, which is basically the core of a standard rush comp. And you have seen Mindru on the Zarya and us instead of the Zarya or a Diva on the Orisa. So Connect Gaming is probably going to look forward to a slightly slower rush, but more aggressive, making space for the Reinhardt with the Orisa pick. And see Hennessy actually swapping to a Winston Zarya, so that's kind of new.
And you see here, Ashley goes back to the Reinhardt, but Azalea will be on his Doomfist, one of his more stronger flex DPS picks. Really trying to show what he can do with Desire on the spam, on the Junkrat, as Azalea are really looking for an opportunity to go in, and there's the Ryan gap we were talking about. KSG already falls to TTK's hammer, and Azalea gets a nice kill, punch kill onto Lapin. Minju already relatively high energy, just pushing all of them back. Connect Gaming will be losing the first fight, and Hennessy's hunting ground will take first control of Lijiang.
You see, both teams actually don't really have a much out advantage against each other. However, you do see the Ryan ultimates coming at 60-50% compared to the rest of the team. So probably looking forward towards a Ryan pressure or Ryan push when it comes down to the next brawl.
Yeah, if all of them grouped up, it's really easy for the Reinhardt to do ultimate charge, especially with the pool 5-strike combo, but Azalea lurking on the high ground, trying to look for any opportunity, actually misses his seismic slam, and it seems like on the return favor, Lee's will catch out Shadow Litten maybe a bit too frisky there from the side of the Lucio. Shadow comes out from TTK, catches down, drops the opponent main tank on the ground, but his team will be able to clean up as follows.
You see TDK over there with the counter push, and TDK taking 2 out with one single fire strike. So you can see now that his team is actually on the roll, on the momentum. Like what I've mentioned before, TDK is a tag that runs a lot of momentum and team tempo. So you can see him stepping up the game.
But KSG has his own shatter of his own, and leading way will be us. Actually swaps over from the Orisa to a more traditional off-tank pick in the Zarya. As Azalea is already going in, he has the meter strike to bail him out. Team has to force out the emo here, but he decides to catch out Lapin on the wayside instead. Now focusing his target onto the Zarya of us, but Nico already falls, and it seems like the momentum is still continuing for Hennessy's hunting ground here, as they still win the fight.
However, definitely going to the next fight, you see Connect Gaming with the Ryan ult still, and the High Noon and the Mail. They're probably going to look towards an aggressive push with the Mail and the 2 support ults coming up. However, Desire with the Riptide though probably could change the fight.
Yeah, it's really up to Desire here to stop the show from Connect Gaming side as the charge comes out onto by Hero Shadow combined with the Graviton Surge of Minju will allow Hennessy's hunting ground to just reign over the composition of Connect Gaming. It seems like Desire just waiting to spawn camping the Riptide, but there will probably be Control Center done and in the books. As a strong showing off the bat from Hennessy's hunting ground, taking Connect Gaming 100-0.
Like I said previously, I still stand by my point that TTK is a tank that rides a momentum and he's able to outplay KSG when he's on a roll. However, for the next map though, they'll probably be swapping up to a Winston-orientated team comp coming up from Connect Gaming. As you can see from the swaps, Nico has a potent, really potent freezer. So it now all comes down to how Hennessy HG actually handles this.
Nico, a really experienced Japanese player. Tracer is very obvious his best pick in the whole hero pool, and Desire is normally not really a DPS player and a really young and inexperienced rookie. Let's see how he fares up against the experience from the side of Nico, and let's see, TDK proved to us that he can do well on the Rhine. Let's see if he can do the same thing on the Winston, as they will be playing the Sombra Reaper composition from both sides with the Moira Lucio. And the hack already comes out onto the Diva from Azalea, and both tanks are relatively low right now for Connect Gaming as Delph gets the early pick onto KSG.
Definitely, see TTK actually running low, might be taken out. However, the heals coming up from Delph sustains the team as Azalea gets another hack onto their Diva, taking out the entire front line.
Yeah, and Azalea showing the stability on the Sombra. Key hack gets killed onto us immediately. Connect Gaming are forced to go back to their base, and the nice pulse bomb from Desire will allow the rest of KSG to fall back to his team, get some support, but Liz is already up to a Coalescence, and this will be the tool that they need for them to push in. And there goes both Coalescences popping out from both the supports on side of both teams. That's the stalemate right now.
Is both teams probably looking towards that alt EMP coming out from Lapin right now. Pulse Bomb hits actually Minju, takes out TTK, and the EMP actually hits the entire team of Hennessy HG as they clean up the fight.
Lapin able to take the fight into his own hands, gets the EMP faster than Azalea and catches 3 to 4 members there from Hennessy's hunting ground. A bit of a weird Diva Bomb here from Minjo, even though his whole team is already dead. Just trying to stall the point as much as he can. Maybe TTK will try to jump in, but he's hacked, and that's a really weird out from Minju.
I think they're probably just looking to stall the point at this point, since Lijiang actually has a really closer spawn compared to other maps. But now I think they're just looking to stall the point for as long as they can. They have no loss to this because they still have the point.
TTK with the Primal Rage, just trying to stall as much as possible, but they're just committing outs. Maybe they think they can win this, but with the main healer of Delph gone from South Hennessy's hunting ground, I think it's already over. And without the Mac, without the Pew off the side of Minju's Diva, Connect Gaming will finally take the point as Hennessy's hunting ground are closing up to 70%.
However, this is actually a smart move from Connect Gaming as they have not spent a single ultimate throughout the entire contest. However, Hennessy HG actually loses both tank ults going to the next fight. Probably see a EMP close push coming up from Lapin, and Liz with the Coalescence probably ready to engage.
Azalea just lurking in his own shadows right now, ready to whip out that key EMP whenever, but Lapin actually chooses to use his first, and Liz's Coalescence will enable the rest of Connect Gaming to just push into the bulk of Hennessy's hunting ground. A little bit late to the trigger there as Azalea as his own Mirror Sombra catches his own team out first.
Definitely. However, Connect Gaming uses 2 ultimates, the EMP and the Coal. However, Hennessy HG has not used anything in return. So we'll probably see a Diva Bomb coming up from Connect Gaming and takes out nobody. That's another ult wasted. However, Nico lands the pulse onto Delph. So that's a cancel itself, taking out TTK as well.
Really aggressive dive there with the Diva Bomb coupled with the very, very aggressive dive from KSG will enable Nico to just take 2 kills when the rest of Hennessy's hunting ground are distracted in the backline. And Azalea still has the EMP, the key ultimate for the next fight.
Definitely, probably looking towards an EMP push over here. They have the beat to their advantage.
Oh, nice
However,
beat.
they get counter beat from mid. However, Shadow Leighton takes out KSG in the meanwhile and Nico as well.
Dire right now just cleaning up the fight. A bit of a weird pulse bomb there, throws it out to catch out the baby Diva, but he just gets the job done. KSG trying to look to stall as much as possible, and Lapin building up to his own EMP, but hacked up and taken down by Tuatao K, which just means that Connect Gaming are forced to reset. And it's last fight territory here for Connect Gaming. If they win the next fight, they will probably take this round.
However, Connect Gaming actually has the Coal and the EMP and Pulse coming up to the next fight, while the team of HSG only has the Coal and tank ults. So it really comes down to how Minju lands that Diva Bomb and whether Delph can dodge the EMP coming up from Connect Gaming.
It's also up to Lapin. He has the EMP here and couple of Nico's Pulse Bomb on a free target that could really turn the fight for Connect Gaming. Here we go. The EMP, the Coalescence, both are up to push the momentum through for Connect Gaming. Lapin falls, but that's
C9!
a C9!
That's a C9! Hennessy takes 1 map off Connect Gaming.
No, this is clearly not the result we were expecting, but a welcome surprise at least. As Hennessy's hunting ground will take Lijiang 2-0, and even on the rush, both different types of rush, they still come on top here. You see the huge grab from Minju coupled with the Earth Shatter. And really good plays from Hennessy's hunting ground, proving that they are no one to look down on, and we shouldn't underestimate their potential.
I'm like shocked right now. Like, Connect Gaming has been known for a team to be really aggressive and really dominant in their team fights. However, Hennessy HG just proves this wrong. Even the last fight, even though it was C9, things were going well because like they took out the opponent team Sombra in the meantime with Delph's ultimate. So this is really shocking. This is actually really shocking. So it all comes down to what map Connect Gaming picks next, you know? Whether they're going to be running a dive, picking a dive map or a rush map, we'll never know.
Yeah, and it will be Connect Gaming's map pick here, so it's up to them to take wherever they may choose to get them a more favorable map circumstance against Hennessy's hunting ground. And for what? And if there's anyone that I believe that will not tilt under any circumstances, I think it's Connect Gaming because back back when they played the ACE tournament, right? I was watching their streams and their mental is really strong and they're actually able to come on the break even though they are map or two down. So I don't think Connect Gaming are gonna buckle just yet.
Definitely, Connect Gaming is known for a team to have really strong mentals. They are able to gather themselves even though they've met a setback. So coming up to the next fight or the next match, Hennessy cannot just chill. They can't relax. They have to be on their toes. They have to keep up the same performance, or they'll just buckle and just lose to Connect Gaming.
Yeah, certainly Hennessy's hunting ground shouldn't get too confident of themselves yet, too egoistic because they still have any chance to lose to Connect Gaming and they have to realize that at the end of the day, Hennessy's hunting ground has a lot of rookie players, the backline and also Desire, so you need to stay calm, stay focused and maybe just take Connect Gaming to match point in map 2.
Definitely, if they're playing team comps like Winston and Ryan, definitely the main tank comes in a factor. So really, TTK has to keep up this performance against KSG because TTK is actually doing so well. In fact, on par with KSG when it comes down to team fights. So carrying on the momentum to the next match, Alexis, what do you think would be the deciding factor for Connect Gaming to turn the tides? After
Well,
drop,
we will actually know what the second map will be, and coming to the second map, it will be a hybrid game mode. So Connect Gaming will be taking us to Hollywood. So I think it's like this is perfect grounds for Hennessy's hunting ground to just play the Sombra Reaper they've been playing so far. And onto your question, Ayako, I think if you play a Sombra Mirror, it's really up to Lapin to go on even grounds with Azalea and pull out the EMP, really build up it fast and just hold the trigger quickly.
definitely. When it comes down to Sombra team comps, the Sombra is actually the deciding factor because your Sombra decides the pace of the fight and you decide who dies on the opponent team. So if they were to actually pull out a Sombra comp, it really comes down to Azalea versus Lapin, whichever member or player steps up to the game. However, this Hollywood map, second point, it kind of benefits sniper maps as sniper players as well. So we really don't know what Connect Gaming might do. They might pull out the ball Ash Tracer. We don't know because second point is just such a strong map just to control the high ground with this. And running Sombra dives onto that second point is really really painful.
Yeah, but I don't know whether the both sides have a very lethal sniper player. Cause from what I know, that Desire can pull out the Widowmaker, but it's not as strong as his other picks. And from the side of Connect Gaming, I don't know whether Lapin or Nico can really pull out a really good sniper.
Definitely, both teams are looking more towards a rush or dive comp. So if they were to pull out any snipers, it's really up to the flexibility of the DPS players.
Going to Hollywood, it seems like Hennessy's hunting ground has chosen to defend first. And they'll be probably playing the same brawl composition. And you were saying that TTK had a really strong right hand, but it seemed like his Winston was no joke either.
Definitely, his Winston was making a lot of space for Hennessy to push up advantage or even get picks. However, you see Connect Gaming pulling up the Winston Zarya, Genji Echo. That's something new that I wouldn't expect. However, you do see HSG running that top. They probably know that Nico is a tracer player. Not to meddle with. So they probably be looking forward to play this kind of team comp where they'll drag out the fight. Push for advantages while the cooldown of the opponent team is down. So looking at Azalea on the Kree and Minju on the Diva, I'm pretty sure they're looking to shut down Nico. Oh, that's a new emote I've never seen before.
Well, it's like he knew our observer's camera was there and he just emoted. That was really weird. But it seems like Desire will be on the top, the signature rush comp. Hennessy's hunting ground seems just wanting to one trick any form of rush or brawl composition they can, but Connect Gaming. We're taking a more fast-paced dive approach, and they actually are playing double flex support heroes with Zen and Ana.
I'm pretty sure they saw the top end and will be like, Break's gonna be useless into this, so we're gonna swap to a Zen, which poses more threat to the Reinhardt and the top.
And Azalea just perched up on the high ground here, looking to poke on anything he can. Lapin needs to stay on his toes, if not he'll just be shot down by Azalea. Lapin already catches out the turret and it's just Desire's actually in a really compromisable position right now as he's anti and half HP in the corner.
You see the entire team of Connect Gaming really low as TDK pins and kills Ask. While their Winston is probably going to be dead in the high ground, but he still survives when Liz picks him up. And TDK takes out Nico as well, but Min takes out Desire in the trade.
Desire falling could prove really beneficial for Connect Gaming because he'll need some time to walk back from spawn, and while waiting so Connect Gaming can take opportunity to rush in with Liz's nano boost maybe onto KSG.
Definitely. You see Nico swapping out to the Ashe to counter the top, and you have Liz with the Nano Wisdom coming up, which in this is pop, but it's being pushed back by the entire team.
A quick nano onto KSG, but it gives opportunity for him to build up his Primal Rage really fast, and he's already on 90% of his Primal Rage as Lapin gets a pick onto Delph, gets another one onto TTK, and Hennessy's Hunting Ground are left running back to second point as they'll probably lose first point here unless someone on Hennessy's Hunting Ground can pick up the clutch, especially with Shadow Litton Sound Barrier. Maybe they can do it, but it seems like they have chosen to give up first point here.
Definitely. Now they're probably struggling to just get the high ground and keep that high ground in their control, because running against a team comp like Winston, Diva, and Echo, and Ashe, they probably would not want to give up the general store. Probably look to punker and bunker down while going up against a Primal coming up soon and a copy from Lapin.
High Noon comes out from Azalea as his wrestle team follow up the shoot to drop him down to support him. Doesn't really catches anyone with the help of the boss from South Connect Gaming as Min takes down Delph. Lapin copies over onto something but gets taken down so quickly. KSG with the Primal Rage already catches two and looking now onto Desire. Both the tanks of Hennessy's Hunting Ground, Discord and N-tied up. It's just Minju left on the point, and it seems like Connect Gaming will be continue to push through.
Definitely. However, you do realize that TDK took out KSG again on the right. So definitely, well, however, looking into the next fight, you see Mint and Liz with the Nano coming up against a window from Delph. I have no idea how they're gonna pull that off.
And there's actually a really quick sleep dart from South Liz that shut down TTK Shatter there and forcing him to go back to his Winston that he is playing on Lijiang Tower. And so many low members on the side of Hennessy's Hunting Ground, and KSG nanoed up trying to capitalize on that, but the supports of Hennessy's Hunting Ground are there to help the team stabilize as TTK will be jumping out taking control of the high ground, but Ars catches out Minju in the Diva battle. High Noon from Azalea trying to zone out anything he can, but the Diva Bomb will force him back as Lapin catches out TTK.
Definitely, you see the pros and the cons of running a rush comp here with difficult supports like Bab and Lucio running into a Winston. You see the Connect Gaming is actually benefiting from the high ground and range which a rush comp cannot provide. Us takes out Desire after Desire punches Nico out of the game.
Yeah, but actually TTK probably tried to touch there, but nice sleep onto Liz will prevent him as he's forced to jump back to his team. Azalea now swaps over to the Echo and already proves effective as he catches out his own counterpart into Lapin.
Definitely, you see Shadow Litton on the break and Delph on the Ana. They're trying to mirror Connect Gaming. However, Liz with that nano boost coming up, and Desire lands the pulse onto Lapin. That's one trade again coming out from Desire.
He lands the pulse bomb but falls on his own, but Azalea right now with the sticky bomb, she catches all of them onto Liz, but the nano boost comes out once again. The win condition is there. Nano onto KSG, but he still has the Primal Rage to keep it up if needed, which he does pop. Trying to displace the rest of Hennessy's Hunting Ground as Minju uses the Diva Bomb and actually catches this. But Lapin on his own Winston and already has some Primal Rage and catches both Delph and TTK, and a nice duplicate there, turning the fight around from Connect Gaming.
See Azalea with the Diva Bomb catching out Nico from the fight. And now both teams are actually on par, but Us cleans up Minju and they now continue pushing the point. However, next fight you have Delph and Shadow Litton coming out with ults. We're probably looking forward towards a Nano Winston coming out from TTK and Delph.
It seems like Connect Gaming is building up a lot of momentum here. Hennessy's Hunting Ground needs to get something done. Shadow Litton rallies up, but Min wants to put his own rally to the test as Nico shuts down Desire with a well-placed dynamite. Both teams just in a stalemate right now, seeing if any team has a mistake for them to punish. Nico with the sideline on main right now as the Nano comes down to TTK looking to dive on the back line. Nico is so low, 1 HP emptied up that they can't finish him in time before Liz gets him healed up.
Definitely, you see Desire with the Pulse Bomb getting KSG in the trade. However, now you see Lapping facing TDK and Liz with the Nano Boost coming out for the next fight. The team of Hennessy HG has nothing for the next team fight, and we have 2 minutes on the counter.
Hennessy's hunting ground finally manages to stabilize, but just when they stabilize, Connect Gaming still has the ultimate advantage over them. Seems like what will Lapin copy here? Maybe a Winston, maybe something else. But Desire looking on the higher ground, maybe trying to catch up one member of the backline, but without a pass bomb, he can't really do much because they're on the other side of the map right now.
And we see TDK coming out with Primal soon, but he's so low. The tank line on HHG is so low, however.
Double
see what
Primal.
Double Primal coming out from Connect Gaming, takes out 2, Ars takes out 3.
Yeah,
Ars
the
takes out
double
4.
The Diver Primal gave enough space for us to just unleash his Zaya beam to catch out 4, and with Nico's Bob, nothing really much Hennessy's hunting ground can do as Connect Gaming take the third point with a reasonable time bank of 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. 1 minute and 40 seconds actually a really good time bank. However, we don't know what Hennessy HG is gonna do on attack. Maybe they'll get more, maybe they'll get less. But still, this game is still winnable, and it could actually go both ways.
Yeah, it's up to Hennessy's hunting ground on their own attack. Seems like the limousine is parting up for April Fool's Day, but in Asia, I'm pretty sure that it's already over. So actually, there was a new experimental patch. Do you actually get a chance to try it, Ayako? Well, we have some downtime here.
I actually didn't have the chance to try it, but just by the looks of it, I think it's just gonna be pure chaos.
I played it earlier in the afternoon and like they made so many heroes have the ability to fly that there's literally like 4 heroes on both teams just flying around on like a map. It's crazy, dude.
That feels like a Jaco patch to me, to be very frank.
Yeah, the Angry Birds composition as some
Yeah.
might say, you know.
Definitely. Now you see Connect Gaming with the Torbjorn instead of the Tracer coming out from Nico, and you have the Ashe, Mercy, Ana coming out. However, Hennessy HG is running the Orisa Sigma TTK on Sigma. But that's new. Oh wait, that's popping it up.
That's just a summon the attacker spawn. But it seems like Nico, after seeing what Desire was able to do on the Torbjorn, wants to pick up the hammer and the turret in his own toolkit. And Hennessy's hunting ground once again showing that they only play rush, and I mean if the rush is effective, why not, right? But KSG on the Winston spots out the composition. Let's see what they'll do, but nice anti catches out them in the rotation and inadvertently forces out Del's immortality field.
As you see KSG with that 43% already and Lampin with the 40%. Delph, however, is probably charging up on that window. Now it all comes down to whether Lisk is able to shut down this rush with that one anti-nade.
Oh, there's a huge Ender-Knight that catches out 5, and Delph already falls with the rest of Hennessy's hunting ground so low right now. They need to stabilize, but without the main healer, they are only relying on the Lucio's heal, and KSG has the primal rage of this space. All of them just grouped up in the corner there.
Now the team of HHG has to make it or break it because without the BAM... Wait, they take out one pick, they take out Lapin even with the Mercy Pocket. But takes out Azalea and us OTDs Minju.
But the picks from Connect Gaming would just pick up and render Azalea's nice pick useless, and Hennessy's hunting ground forced back to go back to the spawn. They have some ultimates up and ready, but they still need to push through this anti-nade plus dive combo from Connect Gaming.
There's definitely, looking at the paper-wise, on paper, Connect Gaming has the advantage in terms of team comp. However, it all comes down to that beat and the ults coming from HHG.
That's another nice...
PSG takes out 3 with that nano.
It was a dynamite and anti-nade coupled with the nano boosted Winston just catches all of HG up in the rotation as they're back to the drawing block right now as they're forced to rethink the composition, and Azalea swaps over to the mid, doesn't want to play the Doomfist anymore.
Definitely, when it comes down to Connect Gaming, they are a team that really knows how to abuse their Winston Zarya comps. And with HHG running that rush, it kind of acts like a handicap against that because a good Ashe and Winston would technically destroy whatever HHG is running. But now they swapped up to a main.
Early grab commits on, and Lapin's Bob catches 2, which forces HHG in a blink of an eye. Before they even know it, the fight is already over. Just 2 quick ultimates just collapse all onto HHG.
Yes, even with the next push coming out, with Minju on that grab and Shatter coming from TDK, we do have Nico's ult coming out with that primal. If they're able to stall out the fight, I don't think HHG will cap this point. However, anything could happen.
Well, let's see how HHG wants to rotate here as Delph is already low. Needs to use his shift to heal himself back up, and a nice main wall that actually cuts Delph's own application matrix, and the tank line of Connect Gaming will follow and catch the picks that they need.
Finally, the tank line Team HHG is looking kind of pressured right now. They are getting hit up and down and everywhere. They need to find a solution to this. However, they do have 3 ultimates coming out with Connect Gaming only having that nano.
Nico is just dancing right in front. But I mean, he has been holding for 3 minutes, so why not, right? But HHG coming up to both tanks out. KSG looking right now, looking to do anything he can. The outcommits from Minju only catches out Nico. That might be enough to turn the fight for HHG, but all of them are so low right now. And then once again, the Nano Winston combo proved too much for HHG to handle. It's just a few members low on HHG. They'll eventually be staggered, and it's just last fight right now for HHG to make something work.
Essentially pretty much used everything they had on the board. They now do have a high noon, but a grab on Ars could just change
Azalea.
everything. With Azalea being staggered right now and slept, but he hasn't been killed.
Yeah, TTK is there with his big Reinhardt barrel to protect him, and right now just looking to stand on the point, but Ars is there with the grab, quick grab to deny that space, and once again another nice anti-nade. I don't know whether it's Hennessy's hunting ground not being able to react properly, but Liz has been getting so many huge anti-nade this defending round. Desire has the amplification matrix to back up his McCree shots, but his team is falling all around him, and in the end of overtime, it will be Connect Gaming to tie up the series on Hollywood, and it will be 1-1 going into halftime.
I really don't know what to say about this match. Like, Hennessy did a great job on defense, but I felt that the Ryan Zara comp probably isn't working out for them, especially on attack. Coming from against a team who has a lot of expertise and experience playing counters since they have been scrimming a lot of career, if I was like from what I was told. So with KSG, look with that anti-nade, dynamite and nano takes out 3 members of the team instantly.
Yeah, it seems like HHG couldn't even figure out which rotation they would like to use to touch the point. I think the only time they actually managed to get feet on the point was that last fight, and before that they're just getting caught out in the rotation so many times.
Definitely, like running a rush comp against a Winston comp, you often really have to watch your rotations and make sure they're clean. However, Liz was just stopping everything with the anti-nade, disrupting the cooldowns and everything, giving so much space for KSG to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, Liz showing that on the stacked roster of COG roster, he's someone that people needs to keep an eye out for, because if they don't, there'll just be a huge anti-nade just homing in straight into your back line. And Hennessy's hunting ground showing a lot of one-dimensional playstyle, only showing the rush com and the brawl com they have. Do you think they should switch it up coming into the third map, Ayako?
I think coming onto the top map and the rest of the series, I feel that if they were to stick on the rush and only rush, they'll probably fall lower, like fall back
Yeah,
behind,
it seems like
COG.
Connect Gaming has their rush all figured out.
Yes, Connect Gaming has the flexibility to play any team comp they want and they need, even if they need to play a ball comp. KSG plays a really good ball. So coming down to HSG, I think they really need to step up on their team comps, swap it up a little, because this is actually holding them back. They have really great performances. They know what they're doing, but just simply having a different team comp that does not benefit them really just pulls the entire team down.
Yeah, and the series is all tied up. It's still anyone's game here, but it will be HHG's map choice coming into this, so they can certainly take us to a battleground that is more suited to their playstyle. But as you said, Connect Gaming really flexible. They have basic understanding of almost every composition in this current meta, and it'll be tough to pull something out of the bag and that will surprise Connect Gaming. Seems like they have everything figured out.
Definitely, Connect Gaming has a really good structure in their team. They know what to do in what scenarios. They know how to stabilize and whatnot. So we'll be going into the map pool for next match, and it will be
Route
Route
66.
66. Okay, so this is actually a map that could go both ways, because it's actually a really good rush map, and it also can be a really good Winston double bubble map. So things could go anyway here.
Well, certainly up to the playstyles and their own choice for both teams. And Connect Gaming, what is now known as probably Japan's most dominant and premier team, just facing a bit of struggle against a half rookie lineup of HH. They really need to stabilize here, and I mean that's what they did on Hollywood, and Hollywood's basically a role, if I do say so myself. So HAG on the
Definitely.
back foot right now, needs to figure out what's wrong and needs
I think
to.
I think one benefit of HG is that they are a team that probably Connect Gaming has never faced before, so they will bring a lot of surprises, and I think HG should use that to their benefits
And
rather than
yeah.
yeah.
And actually, HHG has a ping advantage here because we're on Singapore servers, which means HHG, all their players are from Singapore, which means they have the lowest ping possible. And Connect Gaming ping from Japan, maybe somewhere around 90 to 100 ms. So maybe that can play into play here.
Definitely. However, playing Overwatch is not about the ping, but
Only
it's more
about
about
ping,
the
right?
team.
Yeah.
Definitely. As you can see from Liz as well, you don't need good ping to land a good anti-nade. So it all really all comes down to the team structure and how they want to tackle this
Mm.
Connect Gaming team comp. But you see them running on the Orisa, Farah? You
Yeah, and
see
HHG is playing a really traditional Broadcom that now is seeing a lot of usage in North America and Europe and more western side region. Well, COG not knowing what to expect, rolls out onto Bastion Fire, a really heavy spam poke composition, but Desire is quick to the trigger and takes down Lapin already, but not before the rest comes up from Mint.
I think Connect Gaming has predicted that HSG will hold close. That's why they're rolling out the Bastion and Farah. But Desire just locking down that airspace using McCree.
Yeah, now Connect Gaming actually managed to rotate up, perch on the high ground, and they're just surrounding all of HAG right now. Both the tanks are anti-arc, and Minju will be the first to fall on the side of both teams. Seems like without the defense matrix from side of Minju, the Bastion and Pharah can probably reign free here.
Definitely running this team called Connect Gaming. The team of HSG has no one to rush because once you go for one, you get the other one killed. So basically, this is just something crazy from Connect Gaming. I would not have seen Connect Gaming running this team comp going into this series.
I
This
mean,
is
they're
something. This is something like what Jacob would do, you know?
yeah, I mean, they were really smart to anticipate that because Hennessy's Hunting Ground love to play broad, they probably realized that since it's Road 66, they'll probably hold close, and the Farah Bastion composition proved perfect to counter that composition from Hennessy's Hunting Ground. But HHG are building up to a couple of outs here.
Definitely, you see that Nano coming out from Liz all the way with Lapin as well. You see the Hainun and Delph coming
Oh,
up with that window. But a fat nade once again. But Desire takes out Lapin.
Liz actually didn't really choose to Nano Barrage there, and instead Nano comes out to KSG to provide more health and stability on the front line. But a May out comes out from Azalea, but with the rest of his team falling all around him, I don't think there's not anything much his Gizzard can do here. As Connect Gaming will continue to push the payload through.
Definitely, like I said, this team comp Connect game is running. You go for one target, the rest of them kills your team. So what they did actually there was they took out Lapin and they went for Nico instead, but Lapin got rest
What?
and actually took out the entire team.
What? KSG? The KSG actually pops the supercharger there. Maybe he's trying to switch or something, or maybe it was just a classic fat finger. I don't really know what happened there with KSG's ultimate. It seems like he's choosing to stay on it.
Might be a ping diff right there, but they pop the beat and the window. TDK shatters Liz and pins him. And the Zeta takes out Nico as well, but the Pharaoh is still uncontested. TDK takes out KSG, and they actually rest Nico during the mid fight.
A nice catch out there onto Connect Gaming when they're unsuspecting. TK just rushes in with a speed boost and catches out Liz with his shatter. Nico actually pops the tank form right now, trying to do a lot of burst damage that doesn't really accomplish anything. Maybe he's trying to look for a swap after this.
You know, looking at this team comp that HSG is running against Connect Gaming, this choke point is actually very beneficial for Rush because all you have to do is to rush whoever touches card. And if they don't, you're technically just wasting time.
I think it's finally time for Connect Gaming to switch as Nico will be going for a more long range option in the Ash. Let's see whether the tank line switch and yeah, KSG actually swaps over to the Wrecking Ball, a more fast-paced dive composition trying to counter out HHG's Broadcom.
As Connect Gaming will probably be looking forward to taking as many angles as they can because HSG with that rush comp, one angle is not enough to take out that Reinhardt from TDK. So they're probably looking forward to a nano brush. Maybe KSG takes out Desire on the high ground. And it takes out Delph as well on the side of Lapin.
The dive coming in from Connect Gaming will lead to 2 kills. TDK commits the shatter alongside the Zela Blizzard. This might actually turn the fight around. Lapin wants to say something with his barrage. Most of it was eaten up by the defense matrix of Minju, but not before he catches out Shadow Litten. It's only left the tanks on the side of HG just left on the point, and valiant attempt to turn the fight around using both May out and Reinhardt out. But at the end of the day, Connect Gaming with Lapins and Nico's poke was able to take HG down.
Definitely, the firepower coming from HGC is not enough against an Ash Pharah. It's either they swap off or they have to take the win as a team against Connect Gaming. There's no way that they're gonna beat the firepower and flexibility coming out from Connect Gaming. or we're probably looking towards a high noon window coming up soon. They have no other ultimates other than Shadow Litten, and they get anti-nated.
Anti-nated catches out to both Shadow Litten and Minju, which forces out Delph's Immortality Field, but Connect Gaming once again just surrounds the whole formation of HHG and eventually just poke one by one of them down, and they're just going to third point right now.
Definitely, you see Connect Gaming is actually a really smart team. They're playing all the disadvantages a Rush could face. They're playing Ashe, they're playing Pharah, they're playing Mercy, they're playing Ball and D.Va. There's nothing that HHC can actually rush other than an Ana, which is almost unreachable in most team fights.
Yeah, Hennessy's Hunting Ground needs to rethink their game plan here, but with a primary Lucio player like Shadow Litten, I don't know if they can divert from anything aside from the rush. As Connect Gaming, once again, when Hennessy's Hunting Ground tries to contain this point, they just beam all of them down, rockets from above, catching out everyone alongside KSG's Hammond.
Definitely. However, coming out from Connect Gaming, they have to keep this momentum up because this last point is a Ryan desirable map. Like, there is so little space for a Pharah and Echo to work around. Like, Rush would probably benefit them on this last fight, especially with that Ryan pick. However, with the nano ults coming up, you'll never know what might benefit Connect Gaming.
They don't even see KSG there, but they finally do, and Desire catches out Lapin. But they still have the Resurrect on him, and the Minefield will come out. Desire probably will fall here, quite low HP, dies to the Minefield. Desire gets a return pick onto Lapin and still even ground right now, but he dies! His Blizzard was both eaten up, and he just falls to the mercy of mid. Really good eat there from us.
Definitely, you see that they only used 2 ultimates in that last fight, 3 ultimates actually from Connect Gaming, and they've already stopped the pull. But Desire picks out that Widow pick, it takes out Liz. Ball is in their backline right now. It all comes down to how they want to stabilize against that team comp right there. I feel that they need to swap things up.
But every time Hennessy's Hunting Ground gets an early pick, they're literally just face down with a Resurrect from mid, which just even ups the number game. The Dyer is trying to pull out something clutch with his Widowmaker, but us and Lapins with their own respective ultimates catches the supports that they need, and without any sustain, this Broadcom is basically deemed useless.
Definitely, you see so much range is coming out from Connect Gaming. However, they're still not capping the point because TDK is still on the point. Minju over there trying to remake, but he gets stopped by KSG. Going to the next fight, Nico has that Bob, but TDK has that Shatter. Desire takes out Nico, they have no rest for the Bob.
But Liz catches out Shadow Litten as he's running back from spawn, and nice push onto Delph there, doesn't allow him any chance to contest, but finally the tanks on board are coming back from HHG. Catch on to Desire will heavily reduce the clutch potential from side of HHG, and Azalea on the Tracer trying to make something work, take the clutch in his own hands. But building up to a lot of outs is Connect Gaming, unleashes the Bob and the Valkyrie, nano boost onto KSG trying to finish up the cleanup, and they finally cap with 36 seconds left in the time bank.
I won't call that a C9 if there's a Bob and Mines on the point. I think they just forced the entire team of HHG off the point with that. I think that HHG...
I didn't say it was a C9. It's just their own thing.
that is true. But having, Connect Gaming actually done a C9 before, Hennessy really has
a bit yeah, maybe like you could think.
maybe a low-key C9,
Yeah.
Maybe a B8, but okay.
I mean that C9 on Lijiang was legit really surprising though, like suddenly the victory screen just showed up.
Definitely. I think going into this attack, my point stands that HHG has to swap out team comps. Like, you can see that Rush is not benefiting them at all. Like, KSG and Nico are just playing heroes that will shut down their Rush in every form, every manner. But you see now they're running actually on the Ball D.Va, Sombra Rush comp, which is not really seen much actually. Like, if
it's not Rhine Rush, but it's still played like Rush. It doesn't really change much.
Definitely, my eyes would be on Lapin and Liz for this because running a Lucio Moira, you don't have anything to counter that anti-innate and the dynamite. But oh wait, you see things coming up. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to debate us. Who knows?
Seems like a last-minute switch in game plan here. HHG finally showing something new that it's not the Rush composition. Azalea on the Genji, Delph on the Ana trying to use Nano Blade as a wing condition here alongside the double bubble composition. But on the other side of things, Nico is back on the Torbjorn, and this was the composition that full held Hennessy's Hunting Ground on Hollywood.
Definitely, you see Nico on the top again, trying to deny all forms of flankers, making space for Lapin. But you see Azalea on the Genji, and TDK gets taken out immediately from the start by Lapid.
TTK not really having a fun time. This map already gets taken down, but KSG is soon to follow, gets taken down by Desire himself, and the rest comes out on TTK, which means that Hennessy's hunting ground is at a numbers advantage here.
You see Desire trying to take off angle, but dies to Ask and Lapid, which is damage boosted.
A bit too overzealous there from the side of Desire, but Azalea is there to return the favor, covering up for Desire's mistake as he catches out Lapin. As the rest comes out onto Lapin, he almost has the bot, but they might not even need it because Nico shuts down Shadow Litten and supports are already down for Hennessy's hunting ground. But coming to next fight, they are building up to some ultimates.
Definitely. You see from the side of Connect Gaming, they have 5 ultimates coming up. They have a Graph, both DPS ults and both support ults, while on the other hand, you only see a Nano Blade and DPS ults coming up from HHG. Minju takes out Lapin though, they do not have a rest for the next few seconds. So it really comes down to how they want to benefit this fight.
And they're building so close to the Nano Blade right here, but they might not even need it if Desire catches anything with his high note, but the Nano Blade comes out, lies blocked onto Nico. A shark spreading blood in the water is Azalea, but the Graph is there to CC him. Nothing much he can do as Min. A bit of a risky rest, but pays off in the end as he rests up Nico. And it seems like at the end of the day, they commit so many outs. They commit the Nano Blade, the High Noon, and the Valkyrie, but Connect Gaming still comes out on top.
Definitely, Ask is doing such a great job trying to deny so much space from the side of HHG. Like he's always there when someone needs to, like, you know, someone is gonna die. He's always there to stop it. That's why his ultra has always been so high. His energy has always been so high. However, you still see a Graph coming up from HHG coming up soon.
PTK right now really low, has to jump back to receive some support from his Ana. Minju has the Graviton Surge. It probably will be a pivotal ultimate for his team as TTK tries to take the high ground but gets shut down. He does a bit over aggressive there. Graph comes out from Minju, but he's so low and both tanks fall to Nico's Torbjorn turret.
Definitely, see on Connect Gaming now they still are going to have 5 ultimates going to the next fight. They're probably looking forward to a Nano Winston, possibly from Connect Gaming and HHG. So it all comes down to how this Winston battle goes about. Desire probably going to have that High Noon soon as well. But you know, Nico and Lapin both have their DPS ults to deny a lot of space. The bomb comes out from Lapin and TTK primals the Ana, but gets bubbled by Ask. And Lapin takes out Del.
Nano also being popped, committed into TTK's Primal Rage and he's trying to juggle Liz around the map. Liz actually pops his Nano Boost as a dying breath onto us. Bit high energy here as he pops in a Graviton Surge, which before that he actually gets a kill onto Desire. And seems like Connect Gaming are still stabilizing even with some members down.
And you see Ask going off, just getting the Nano, getting all the resources from the team just to stabilize during the fight, and he gets so much value off that. Actually grabs and wins the fight for the team.
And the only ultimate Hennessy's hunting ground coming up on the last fight is the duplicate from Azalea. It's all up to him. His team's opportunity is all up to his shoulder. Let's see what Azalea copies here as the TTK once again trying to dive out on the high ground. Before that, Delph already falls to Lapin as Azalea copies onto the Winston. The rest is there for Delph, but both him and TTK falls, and it seems like this won't be another full hold from side of Connect Gaming. And Hennessy's hunting ground, nothing much they can do.
Definitely, I feel that Hennessy's hunting ground really ran strong in a lot of fights, but simply the stability and the teamwork coming up from Connect Gaming, holding it down on the first point.
Just TTK right now, only Shadow Litten left on the point, but both fall. At the end of the day, 2 full holds in a row, Connect Gaming establishing dominance, showing that that first map was a fluke.
Well, I wouldn't be so sure about that because like Hennessy HG actually did a lot of work on this first point, but simply the fact that they did not stabilize and the fact that they did not give as much respect to Ask Zarya. Ask was just given so much space and so much resources just to turn the fight around.
Players, maybe some players from the Hennessy's hunting ground, maybe not really having that tournament high stakes experience in the heat of the battle, not knowing how to stabilize. And compared to COG, a lot of experienced players from the Japanese scene, and we know that from the Japanese side of teams, a lot of these teams, especially Connect Gaming, they have a really strong mental, and even when a few members down, they have the ability to call for stabilize and play in a position where they can still turn the fight around. Seems to have
Definitely.
worked wonders for them on Route 66.
Definitely, Connect Gaming as one of the teams that went toe to toe against Jacobert in the Ace 100k tournament last year. You know, like Connect Gaming is definitely no force to be reckoned with. Like Connect Gaming is probably one of the best, if not the best team in this tournament right now, seconds to Jacobert perhaps. But Hennessy HG really has to sort things up. I feel that it's just a matter of decision making from
Yeah.
HSG. They really have to stop running rush. I guess don't take my words for it. But it's been proven that like Connect Gaming knows how to deal with these rush comps, and they've been probably practicing this Winston double bubble comp as much as the other teams have scrimped in this entire tournament. So I feel that
Mm.
HSG has to step it up.
Yeah, and after their own sister team COG0 fell just now, they want to take revenge, showing that there needs to be at least one Japanese team in the grand finals, wanting to show the power of the Japanese scene. And yeah, really
Definitely,
good, well played from Connect Gaming there.
definitely. As a team that actually qualified for Contenders Trials Korea, they are definitely one team that you should not like underestimate,
Fool
even
around
though they
with,
lost
yeah.
a C9. Yeah. So
Yeah, and it seems like we'll be going to a quick break right now, so grab your popcorn. Actually, you might not even need to because it might just be the last map later on. But quick break as we catch all the action later on. Welcome back everybody to PACommunity Rivals numero uno semi-finals 2. Seems like Connect Gaming will be at advantage here 2-1, full holding actually 2 maps in a row, and let's see where the 4th map actually will be taking us.
CP to CP, and it's actually Temple of Anubis. So what we have seen from Jacobert and Cog Zero previously. Next map would be this cursed 2CP again.
Yeah, and it's actually Hennessy's hunting grounds map pick, which means that they'll probably want to play Brawl again on Temple of Anubis. Do you think this is the best option for them?
Honestly, I think that if they actually went with another 2CP, they would benefit more. Like if they went like a Hanamura, things might be better for them. But Temple of Anubis is such a abusable map when it comes down to long ranges, like having Echoes and Ash, potentially a Pharah on defense, a Torbjorn in fact, like if Nico to play Torbjorn again. So I don't know.
It's really weird that Hennessy's hunting ground want to play Temple of Anubis, especially with so much potential for poke comms from Connect Gaming, which they might just get full health again. And maybe they have something new up their sleeves though.
I hope so, because as you can see from the previous maps, Rush isn't really benefiting them at all. However, CC Connect Gaming on their side, you see them running the Pharah and Echo. They are ready to go against the Rush. They are ready to just take this win, the map win off Hennessy HG.
Well, Hennessy's hunting ground playing a different composition, but once again, yet again, it's still Rush at the end of the day.
It's a bunker kind of Rush. I don't know what they're trying to pull off here. However,
they just want to cycle through every single variation of Rush today, man. Just all the history of Rush.
But you can see Connect Gaming, they are ready. They are ready to get a 4-minute time bank on this map. But we don't know.
Let's hold our horses. There's still potential for Hennessy's hunting ground to get a good defense off. Can't take them out of the books yet, especially since they did take Lijiang Tower, which means that they still have the potential to be still in the game, as Connect Gaming once again playing the composition, playing the double bubble poke DPS lineup that they proved to be so effective time and time again, as Hennessy's hunting ground just trying to hunker down right now, looking for any opportunity. Is Azalea, but doesn't really get the pick he wanted to onto KSG.
Definitely, you see Azalea and Meiju coordinating their rush. However, I do expect to see a kill coming out from Lapin, but no, Desire still stays alive. But I see Azalea going in again with the punches and making it alive, and TDK gets another kill onto mid, asserting dominance.
Yeah, good aggression there from Mr. Tuatao K himself. Catches 2 on the Reinhardt, and for now, it seems like this composition has been working decently for them, but it's still a 1 minute defense and they still have a lot of time to hold this point. And Connect Gaming, once they build up ultimates, it's gonna be way more harder for them, but they're just taking the aggression to their own hands. They don't want Connect Gaming any time to react. Q onto Desire is good to start for Nico, but without the off-temp from us, Hennessey's Hunting Ground still has the advantage, but all of them so low, Delph so low right now, and with the copy coming out on Lapin, a huge anti-nade from this to follow up the boot. Shadow right there, gets his own charge, but seems like at the end of the day, Connect Gaming is still coming out on top.
Definitely, you see all resources being burnt out from Hennessy HG. Lapin with that Ryan copy actually changed the game right there. Like now TDK has to deal with not one main tank but two main tanks, and Connect Gaming just takes the free cap off the bat.
Late Q onto Lapin is good there, but it doesn't even matter because when the point is capped, Lapin is already respawned. And Azalea right now on the Doomfist can't really accomplish anything.
Definitely, the only threat that Azalea has is that Ana, and he's probably looking forward to taking out a Nico or Liz in the team fight, but it's so hard because a Doomfist getting a one pick. Oh, he takes out the Mercy instead. That gets a high kill onto Ask.
That's a really good pick from Azalea, just stopping Connect Gaming in their tracks. And once again, they can win a fight or two, but Connect Gaming still has a lot of time left. But a late kill onto Liz is definitely good, stagger the time out.
However, if you look at the ultimate charge right here, you see that Connect Gaming is actually in the benefit. They do have that grab.
What is TDK trying to pull here? He doesn't even have Shatter. He's just trying to for a vanilla charge onto someone. But they spawned him out already. KSG knows he's there. So
that's definitely what's he trying to do. There's no way you're gonna charge anyone into. Oh, Azalea does land a punch onto the Winston, but they're probably gonna get grabbed here. You're gonna get dated.
And without the immortality from Delph to save them, Connect Gaming are just surrounding all of them. A nice graviton from us to initiate the fight. And another day, Connect Gaming are all over the point right now. There's no one to be seen from the side of Hennessy's Hunting Ground. Azalea tries to go in but gets caught out by the beam of Lapin immediately. Just stalling.
TDK back onto the stall with the ball, and Shadow Layton 40% away from B. I think this is a cap right here. Unless Mitchell is able to get a kill on that Ryan. However, Ars is on high chance. Azalea punches in onto the Winston, tries to displace him. However, he lands an ult up onto the Ashe. No, Ashe gets nano instead.
Delph has an amplification matrix, but he doesn't even have any opportunity to use it because the moment he pops it, he just immediately dies. And Connect Gaming, a little bit of a dominant attack as they kept both points with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Yo, RXS, I don't know why, but I feel that, like I've been saying throughout our commentary, that Hennessy HG has to stop up from that rush. And I don't know what's going on in their heads.
They're
really...
basically just bashing their heads into a wall again and again right now, and it's not working, man. It's like a steel door and they are trying to open it, but they are just bashing it.
They need to understand that Connect Gaming is not any random team that you can just run in and kill 6 over and over again. Like, they are a team that's really experienced, even though with some rookies on the team. They are a team that's so experienced and they are able to change any situation into their advantage. However, you see Hennessy HG again with the Orisa Ryan.
Well, all I'm hoping for is Hennessy's Hunting Ground do not get full health again, because that would be really bad for Hennessy's Hunting Ground. I mean, it would be bad because they will lose already.
Definitely. You see Nico on that Junkrat rather than the Ashe or the Torbjorn we have been seeing for the past series. And you see Lapin on the Echo. It's probably understanding like, hey, you know, they're probably gonna run rush. Let's abuse the fact that they can't get me, you know. But we do see different team comps coming out from Hennessy HG right now.
I think it's
see
just
the harbor around the ball.
I don't even think TDK is a Sigma player. And yeah, he goes back to the Ryan. Minju goes back to Orisa, and they're just playing the same exact composition that they lost on just now. And with the spam coming out from both DPS on Connect Gaming, is going to be really hard to push through for Hennessy's Hunting Ground. And that's already a pick on the Delph, which means their push is already over.
Definitely, like we've been seeing patterns again and again. Like this has been happening for the past 2 games. In fact, with the team just crumpling over to a pick early on, and although takes out Lapin, the rest of the team of HG gets killed. However, no, Liz gets taken out along with Azalea taking out Nico. So Shadow Little trying to kill on the Mercy again, but I think he should just back off.
But if Shadow Litten dies here, that'll be really bad for Hennessy's hunting ground because their advantage will be gone. But it seems like Shadow Litten managed to skate out of the way. And actually, it's a good thing that Min had the rest there because he was able to rest back Liz. But KSG is so low and gets taken down for Azalea, and that's the opening that HG has been waiting for. Nice leap onto Desire. Will be putting the McCree out of action for a while, and as Lapin takes down Shadow Litten and Minju's mech.
See from this point of view that their team is so split up. This looks like a standard rank game, if you were to tell me. But Desire takes out Nico, and Azila picks out the Mercy and possibly the Ana. No, the Ana survives from a nade from herself, but he probably gets punched instead. Azila taking out 2-3 people in this team fight. Wow.
The DPS from the side of Hennessy's hunting ground doesn't want this match to be over just yet, dragging their team to cap first point. And Connect Gaming is going for more spam. They are now swapping over to the Zenyatta.
Definitely. Azalea is definitely not a DPS, not a force to ignore. He's a DPS that can do a lot of things if you leave him untouched. The overside, you see Nico with the tire coming up soon, actually takes out 1 kill onto Delph. KSG is pushing up along with his team. They're probably gonna have another Winston coming up soon, in which Shadow Litten has a beat for it.
Right now, Hennessy's hunting ground are just waiting for Delph to regroup with them. But they do have some ultimates in their bank. They do have 4 ultimates. Maybe they can take Connect Gaming to brink and eventually win the fight. But Nico with the red tire from above is looking to put a stop in that before the fight already happens, as it comes down onto Delph's immortality. And Delph actually falls alongside Desire. And that's probably the fight already over so quickly. And they only needed to use a few outs. And Minju actually pops the self-destruct there. Oh, actually, it wasn't.
That was
Lapin,
from Lapin.
yeah.
Yeah, so
my bad.
over, you see Connect Gaming over here, they have no ultimates other than the Nano. This should be, on paper, a free win for Hennessy HG. Like, they have that Shatter coming in. KSG does not have that primal, you know. Azalea has that two-face out coming out. Delph has that window to shut down whoever stands in their way. But it all comes down to that one nano from Liz, that one anti-nade, or how whether they get picked
anti-hit!
Like I said, all comes down to the anti-nade, whether it stops anything or not. But now you see Nico back with the ultimate, 93%. Goes back square one for team Hennessy.
Hennessy's hunting ground, they had the heavy ultimate advantage there, but Minju wasn't able to eat Liz's anti-nade enough in time, and huge anti-nade follow up by a lot of spam coming in, just demolishes Hennessy's hunting ground in the rotation. They're trying the same pathway again, and Nico is there waiting. Or the boop actually cut their name, but
KSG gets out Shadow Litten, even though the lamp was used. I think KSG, Connect Game is probably just gonna get rounded up. Ars takes out Desire, they popped a window. Azalea takes out Lapin, immediately popped the Doom out. He popped the Shatter as well, and
I think they're switching composition.
Definitely. I hope that they're switching team comp.
With the Shadow coming up and the bomb coming out from Minju, they're definitely swapping composition here. If not, that was a really,
TTK
really...
is still on that ride. TTK is still on that ride.
They just popped 4 outs for nothing, and actually a good early kill onto Lapin, but his team isn't there to rotate in time, and Lapin will probably respawn already, but the speed boost M comes out, but Nano comes out onto KSG along with the Nico, once again catching them out of the rotation. Hennessy's hunting ground can't even go to the point, and when they do, they're already like 2 men down.
I am very confused at this point. Like, Hennessy HG would probably stand a better chance if they swapped off, but they're still sticking onto this team comp, even though they're being rolled by Connect Gaming. I'm not even kidding at this point.
The thing that was confusing to me was that they were already 2 men down, but they still pop 4 ultimates, the M Matrix and Wolf Tank out, they don't switch. So, and Connect Gaming, because of that, has such a huge advantage in ultimates here.
Definitely. See, the Connect Gaming has 3 ultimates coming in. They copy the Doomfist going in. Let's see who he picks. He picks out Delph before he could land a lamp, and then he takes out probably who else from this fight? He takes out Azalea actually, and they crumble again. Even though with the trades coming out on the team of HHG, with the respawn timer, Connect Gaming eventually still wins this fight.
Hennessy's hunting ground right now just stuck in their place. They just left confused, don't know what to do, but maybe Shadow Litten Soundbearer can prove as something, as Minju swaps over to the Zaya, finally a hero swap, but not really the one that they need.
Definitely. You see Liz with that nano coming up soon. We're probably just gonna land another nade and change the tide of the fight. But who knows? We have so many ultimates coming out from
Oh
Team HHG.
no,
But
the
Ars
fight-
takes out this
fight's
Eye with
over.
Breaklink. Yes, and a Graph coming out.
They can't even push in, they can't even rotate properly. As just in that choke, so much spam just comes out and they already get a pick or two. And Hennessy's Hunting Ground desire emergency swaps the Tracer as they probably have 1.5 or even one fight if they're not having here left.
Definitely. Connect Gaming is a team where they know to stop you from doing your team comps win the condition. They nano the Doomfist as well.
It's over.
He gets out
Desire
Desire
is
as
already
well.
dead.
Punching in, Azera takes out Liz. They actually make trades. It's a 4v4 right now, but Nico takes out 2 on that Doomfist.
And the amplification matrix ping used by Delph here means they don't have it for the next fight. Nico pops the meter strike, maybe not really necessary, but at this point, who even cares? Because Hennessy's Hunting Ground don't even know what to do themselves.
The only way Hennessy Hunting Ground can win this next fight is if they miraculously survive against a copy from Lapin, but things are looking grim on the side of HHG. They have nothing to their name, they have no resources, no ults. The closest thing they have is a pulse bomb.
Hennessy's Hunting Ground cannot get caught out in the rotation again. It's now or never for the Singaporean squadron. And KSG already dives in and will copy onto the Doomfist on the side of Lapin. He's looking to close out the series right here, right now. And a kill onto Delph might just be what is enough to put a mark in this gravestone for HHG. And Connect Gaming once again wanting to prove the power of the Japanese scene here, as Hennessy's Hunting Ground are nowhere to be found. And Connect Gaming will be taking the semi-finals 3-1 as they will meet Jaco Bird once again in the grand finals.
Oh, this has been a really interesting series, I would say so. But well, Connect Gaming 3-1 against HHG. What are your thoughts?
I mean, Hennessy's Hunting Ground really they came out strong on the first map and we thought, wow, this is going to be a really close series back and forth and maybe Connect Gaming might just lose. But come the second map, they got full health. The third map, Hennessy's Hunting Ground get full health again. And come the third map, HGG just looked so disorientated and they didn't even know what to do.
Well, I don't know. This has been a ride, from the C9 from first map and all the way to, a full hold on Hollywood and all the way to the last point where they threw 4 ultimates when they're at a disadvantage. I don't know what this series has been about, but you can see how a strong mental of a team and how much experience and expertise from a team can bring about the tables when it comes down to a game like Overwatch.
Yeah, I know that COG themselves are a bunch of hardworking players, and I know that even though our Pacific region right now may not have any a lot of opportunities for them to prove themselves, they're still constantly screaming and practicing together, waiting for the opportunity to prove themselves in a bigger tournament. But in just normal community tournament like this, they prove that they still have what it takes. Even with a ping disadvantage, even losing the first map, they still win out on top. And just Hennessy's Hunting Ground are just left confused and they don't even know what to do.
Definitely. So yeah, now we're done with the semi-finals of today. We do have Connect Gaming and Jacob are going to the finals. So now we'll be heading towards a short break.
All right, guys, welcome back to the post-match analysis where we just witnessed Connect Gaming versus HHG. It seems like it was going in the way of HHG in the first round, but then in the second, third, and fourth round, it was quite the other side or the flip side, which Connect Gaming did actually figure out the answer to the code, which was HHG Rush Comp. So, I mean, Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I cannot sum it better than this phrase right here, which is what really essentially what happened. So yeah, so let's come back with Ayako as well as Arexis. Arexis, I know you guys are tired of repeating the same thing over and over again. Like, if you're gonna rush, who are we gonna rush? The Ana? Arexis, what are your thoughts, man?
I mean,
It's a one trick comp. Like I mean, like, does HHG knows how to do anything different or what?
I think even if you one trick composition, it comes to a point of time where you have to realize that it's not working and it will probably never work. So you need to take out something different, even though you might not be as well practiced as it. As 3 maps in a row, HSG, they can't even push through one choke point, and well, their first map was well played on them. They deserve every part of their map. Really good outplays all around. But when it came to a more classic payload or point-oriented map, they just got choked out on literally the first choke point of the map, and just running in. They kept running in through a lot of spam, and before they can even step on the point, one of them is already down. And I don't even think in each map we even saw them step on the point twice.
Exactly. I guess their numbers just whittled down to half the moment they want to actually start the engagement and have the Lucio press speed boost and then just go in like, hey, everyone's gone. Like, what do we do now, right? So I mean, like, with that being said, Ayako, any thoughts besides that? Like, any standout plays or anything? Like, let's move on from this. Like, Connect Gaming, they certainly have the code to crack this a rush comp, but against a stronger team like Jacobert, what do you think?
I think against a team like Jacobert, first off, Jacobert 100% has more flexibility than HHG over here. So that's one key factor that we do have to take note in, because because you can see that HHG has been running rush and only rush and nothing but rush. So I can completely say that pretty much that 80% contributed to the fact that they lost the other 3 maps. But however, on the side of Jacobert, like I said before, they are a team that play as 6, so it doesn't matter what heroes they play, they still are able to play as a team. Okay, so like tomorrow we might see. I don't think we'll be able to see Rush actually. We'll probably be seeing a lot of Winston Zarya.
So
compared
double
to today.
bubble.
Definitely. So it really all comes down to how they play as a team, how they're able to make space for each other, how they're able to make space for Lapin and Jaco to, perform to their fullest potential. I think tomorrow is going to be a really interesting match.
All right. So again, I guess, do you have any other, things to say regarding the match earlier where we had Connect Gaming versus Hunting HSG? Like,
I'll have to say
closing statements. Yes.
I'll have to
Alexis.
say that even though we might play down on HSG, it's not a small feat that they still managed to get to the semi-finals, and
Right.
when on their road to the semi-finals, they were still undefeated coming in, and
That
their
is
rush
true.
comp actually worked for most teams, but Connect Gaming was just that one
Isn't
level
most
ahead
teams.
of every other team. They aren't the normal team that you're facing, but still manage to take a map of them is no small feat. Not many teams are able to do that, and still well played for Hennessy's Hunting Ground, and for a lot of these players for the less experienced, such as Desire, really impressed me this tournament, and I'm excited to see in the future what more can he do in future tournaments or play.
All right. Okay. Well said, Rx's. And Ayako, do you have any other statements to say? Yeah.
I think going into this series, you have one team that's full of experience, full of practice, and really coordinated, well structured. On the other hand, you have another team who is full of fresh blood. Some of them are new. They don't know what's going to happen in this series, but they're still playing their best. They're still trying their best to play as a team. You can see some coordination coming out. By certain members of the team is you know that they're making calls, you know they're trying their best. So
That is
actually,
true.
really huge kudos to Hennessy, even though they lost 1-3, but I think that it was a really good fight put out for the side of HHG. So I'm interested to see where some of these players go in the future, in the coming months.
That is true. That is true. I am certainly, really proud that HHG has come thus far, being almost undefeated in all the earlier rounds, and they have made it thus far. But with the competition as strong as this, when you're going against Jayco, when you're going against Connect Gaming, are the big teams where they have star players and basically really strong players that comes in from let's see, from the likes of maybe not Overwatch League, but as where we have even really strong players, like you have to prepare different scenarios, right? You can't just run a single scenario in your scrims. You have to prepare for different outcomes, different eventualities. So with that being said, thanks guys for watching. This was Pacific Overwatch Community Rivals Season 1. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. where we will finally see the finals, where we have Jacob versus Connect Gaming. So it's Team Thailand versus Team Japan. Right. Oh wow. With the memes there. Oh.
Let's go. Let's go to the finals tomorrow, guys.
Right. Let's root for the better team, Jacob versus Connect Gaming. And with that, 100 USD goes to the charity of choice of the winner, as well as all the holographic cards. So that is certainly a match to watch tomorrow. So do stay tuned tomorrow, and we'll be back at 8 p.m. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Vital signs normalizing. Escorting the payload.